Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures trying to hold on to positive territory here as we see Bitcoin breaking 30,000 to the downside currently. We'll keep an eye on cryptocurrency markets coming up this morning, but looking a little negative to start things off once again this morning. The pullback in equities as well follows Monday's big rally. We had the Dow up more than 500 points at the end of the session yesterday, while the S&P gained 1.4%, NASDAQ up about 0.8% at the end of the day yesterday. Commodity stocks, commodity prices, but stocks as well, among the leaders to kick things off for the new week yesterday. We saw big gains in a lot of the smaller energy companies. We'll talk about a few of those coming up here this morning. Travel stocks also with nice performances Monday, including some of the cruise lines up about 3% right across the board at the end of the day. AMC back on watch, lower here in the pre-market for the second straight day after yesterday's sell-off. We'll also talk about that Torchlight, some other names doing significant volume in the pre-market as well, including GameStop, who officially completed their equity raise and share offering as of this morning. It's Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And we'll direct your attention to the bottom of the board this morning. 6% for Bitcoin, currently 5.5% for Ethereum. Bitcoin trying here, guys, to hold on to 30,000, but pretty negative start to the day. Everything else pretty muted. Yeah, crude oil back to the downside. Crude's been up 2 or 3 days in a row here, so a bit of a pullback, 0.8. But equity markets pretty flat overall. We did get back into positive territory for U.S. markets, but otherwise pretty uneventful. Going to be interesting here, guys. We did break 30,000 there briefly, but looks like we are trying to bounce a little bit. Anyways, for Bitcoin, currently lots to get through this morning, including, obviously, what is happening right now for BTC.
Yeah, I mean, crypto is going to be a big part of the story this morning. There's no way if ands or buts about it. You had the death cross with Bitcoin. You get that 30,000, Ethereum at 18. You have talks of Binance having some issues. I mean, I don't know, just the charting has been hit or miss this morning through them, but some people having some issues. Look, it's obviously going to be a market-moving event. We were just mulling earlier on this morning about what if there was a significant pullback in the broad market, and then what in crypto, like this 10, 15% correction some people are talking about, if that happened, and then also you got like a crypto move, what would that maybe mean for some of the meme stocks and down the line? And it feels like the first shoe to drop would be potentially, if this does continue through, it could be the crypto space. But look, there is going to be a heck of a lot to get to, obviously, and we're going to be trading live through all of it and then finding everything that moves. Yes, the memes are in play. There's not a heck of a lot in terms of earnings. Plug Power basically didn't move at all. But yeah, this story is going to be one to watch. And that Torchlight has made a big, severe pullback. It was looking like it was going to gap up 10%. Now it broke $10 already pre-market, so that one coming back in.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough ride, although Bitcoin just now went back above, it looks like, 30,000. So now we're at 30,003. Oops, where's the chart? 30,300. We actually dipped as low as 29.5 right there. So quite a drop in the last hour and a bit. So from 32, I guess it's only 10%, less than 10% down. But yeah, it's been a nasty little ride here for BTC, as you guys can see here on a 1 minute chart. Just been right to the downside. We just bottomed out there. So we'll see. We'll see if it affects. Doesn't look like it's affecting NASDAQ or anything right now. Pretty calm down. It will affect, I don't know, like, will it affect Tesla? We know the other ones that'll affect Silvergate, Mara, things like that. So there are equity names to look at here today. And I'm just going to be excited to see, how this does affect NASDAQ. There has been some kind of, I've talked about a little bit of a relationship between the crypto markets and the broader equity markets, but I think there's definitely been a disconnect there as Bitcoin chopped in half, and right now equity markets at all-time highs. So the Dow was up 500 points or so yesterday. It's going to be a big day again. We've got AMC on the mind. We've got GameStop on the mind. The sticky note is out. I don't have Palantir on there, but it should be on there. And then, oh, you know what? Let's do a quick check here before I forget. Let's do a quick check-in on Coinbase. That's not on the sticky note, and that should have been added, I guess, now. Never even think about it. Actually, you know what? It's not too bad. Coinbase right now just down. Is it down that 2% today? Yeah. So down that 2%. That's not bad. I thought it would have been a little bit worse as we bump on those all-time lows right now, Brendan, of 216. I guess we wicked down to that 208. We'll find out if that was real. But either way, we're at the bottom of the range here for Sir Coinbase.
Yeah, important levels, definitely, right across the board when you talk about all of these. There's a little headline there on that Splunk, guys, SPLK, up about 8% and change here. Looks like they're getting quite the investment from Silver Lake, $1 billion they're talking about going into SPLK. So 7.5%, one to watch there as well. We'll talk about that coming up here as well. Before we do, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, traders. I wish you all the luck today and a lot of profitable opportunities on the market. Guys, please support the community and make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started here, guys. Yeah, so it looks like $1 billion from Silver Lake going into that software maker, SPLK, one that has been on a bit of a tear here. Nice looking daily chart. We had a big time solid bottom down there. So back through 130 here for SPLK. Not a tremendous amount of volume at this point, but we'll keep an eye on Splunk, see where it goes over the next few minutes. Lots of different directions to go here, guys. I don't know where we want to start. We can talk about some of these meme stocks. We had lots of volume yesterday. Different stocks leading when AMC was down. We saw that TRCH, among others, to the upside.
Yeah, look, I mean, Torch certainly was that big blowout and breakout to the upside. It took that 10 level. I mean, it's just explosive, the movement in the chart. And it's a bit of a reversal. You can already see the red candle here. I'll throw you to the 15 so you can see a little bit better. We looked like we were gapping up, holding a 10% move in there. You had GameStop with an offering, and no one seems to care when you have these offerings coming through, and they announced one as well. And at least initially, it seemed like it was going to be well received, and then you had this pullback. Now, coincidence or nay, I'm not entirely certain about this, but right when we're breaking down off of this consolidation here is exactly when that 30,000 was getting tested. Like, who knows? Maybe it was one of those. Some of that selling was just panic. You get the offering coming through, you're getting the first significant pullback, and at the same time, you have crypto falling, and then there was some itchy trigger fingers there in pre-market action. So, this stock probably has its next significant support down at like an 8 to 850. And, I kind of feel like Torchlight was a little bit different because there was chatter that it was a Wall Street Bets one, but then, a lot of people in the forum have been saying, hey, it's not necessarily one of those stocks like Wish or like GameStop or AMC were in the same vein. And if that's the case, does this one unwind a little bit faster? I think it looks like we're going to find that one out today because we're halfway there towards that support level from the top. And we're at $11. 8 to 850 was sitting right there, and we've already retraced half of it. I mean, the levels that I wrote down for the rollover are pretty much out the window. They're very unlikely to come into play come 9:30.
Yeah, Torch. I mean, again, I wrote down upsize off. Oh, crap. Oh, man, how does this always happen to us? When I was doing this list, of course, $10 hadn't broke yet. Did you go short 10, Neil? I missed that.
No,
okay.
I'm sitting here watching crypto the same as everybody else.
Yeah. And, it's right here. It's on the sticky note. You guys have it. It's up there. There's Torch upsize offering at 10 to the short side. Now you're at 952. So I hope you were able to get that. Let me see. What time did I? Let me just do this because I want to see what time I posted this just to see if Neil and I weren't so obsessed here with the show and with crypto. 8:30 this went out. So what time did this break? 10. So it broke it a little bit before. So yeah, like 8:22, 8:25. So maybe right here. Yeah, close to when we released it. So let's basically, now that it's broken, we can average into this short. So let's wait to see. I'm not going to punch short right now. I've done that before, but let's wait to see if we get it back to $10. Maybe a little baby one here, but nothing serious until we get back to 10 on Torch.
Just looking at Opco Health, guys, OPK. You might remember that one from the beginning of the pandemic. This one popped up talking about testing way back beginning of last year, but just popping up here on some volume. They have signed an agreement with Royal Caribbean for some COVID-19 testing. So Royal's COVID-19 testing going to be coming from Opco Health. So we'll have a look at OPK coming up as well. It's going to be an interesting day on the side of some of these meme stocks or squeeze stocks, whatever you want to talk about. As far as GameStop is concerned, guys, let's deal with it right off the bat. They finish this offering. It's completed. It's done. Up significantly for the first time in a couple of days.
Yeah, GameStop,
like
it's interesting because we were talking about this yesterday in our AMC video, just how, look at where this stock has come back and bounced to. Like just so you look at the chart and you get this nice little wedge that formed on the way to the break at like 188, just 188, 190, you get the breakout. And then we're just gliding higher. Even this pullback, it just looks like it's bouncing right off of that same like 190 to 200 level, as if this was absolutely normal and this is how things should happen. And you get the offering, it doesn't even squeeze into that level. Into the downside. They complete it. Why this should necessarily move the stock to the upside? We can get past that. Whether you believe in the long term, change the company into something unrecognizable and it's worth this valuation, whether you believe it or not, we're spending a ridiculous amount of time in this price range. And just say that like 210 to like this 225, 230, 235 area. We're just chewing through volume in this price range. I do feel like GameStop probably is going to have a bunch of chop and a bunch of traps in that $15 to $20 that I think above this current price. If you see that 188 to 190 as a bit of a floor, the way they've received this, it feels like that's where it would be on a rollover. You're probably looking at that as a bit of a bounce play at that particular price, even if you don't think it makes sense. It's been following the chart, so you just kind of have to go with that tone. I wouldn't necessarily stand in front of this freight train. I look at what's happening in Torch and Wish kind of rolling over as well, and fighting GameStop today kind of feels like. You got to pick the right battles if you want to be a short side trader. The long is going to be a tricky one unless you really get a great shot off of like 205 on the dip and you have like a 200 kind of stop idea. So I don't have any great long ideas. People are going to be looking at that 225. I think there's a lot of chop on the upside, and I've been trapped into opening long breaks. So I just don't want to do the breakout in GameStop. If there's a good chance to like defend like a big level, like a round number, like that 200 on a dip, fair enough. But I'm much more interested. Keep looking on the corner of my eye to Torch and Wish. I'm much more interested in those ones playing to the short side today, finally showing a bit of chink in their armor, as opposed to GameStop being the strongest of the bunch today, clearly.
Yeah, I actually just went short Torch right now at 59, so you've got a little bit of a bounce up there, and it's very, very small here in the pre-market. So we'll try to play this back up to 10, see what happens, and then 1060 if it does break. So I wrote down on GameStop that I'd like to see a 210 level be defended a little bit here before we do anything. So this is, it's a high, can you guys see this? Okay, yeah. So there's 210 right here. So 210, so we dropped down to 210 on the 10th. We dropped down to 210 again on the 11th. We dropped down to 210 again. This isn't Neil just mentioned finding some levels. This 210 is about as clear as it gets. 210 again there on the 15th, 210 again there on the 16th. And then yesterday we get to 213. And then, sorry, not yesterday, that was Friday, 213. And then yesterday we open up at 210 and tank to 2 bills. So you have this $10 range in here between 200 and 210 that we haven't seen yet. We only saw it yesterday, and it was for like an hour, where it just went all the way down before bouncing at 2. So I think you have 200 to play off of, like Neil was mentioning. But because the offering is done now, and we are above that 210, I think the first level of support there, 210, comes into play at some point today, unless we just rock it. So I see a lot of people talking. So Cardano right now, I almost logged in. And bought some and converted some of the stablecoin over to Cardano here, because we are right at this $1 mark. And again, it's a big fall from graces for all of these names. And I did get out some Cardano. I only got out about 10% of my Bitcoins and everything in my whole crypto portfolio just last week, and they weren't good prices, man. It was like 144, 145, something like that in here. You could have got it yesterday, and then 2 days ago, and then it dips all the way down now to 103. So we could reload here at a 40% discount. But again, most of our money's still stuck in here anyways. It's been a great, meteoric rise to the upside. So I think you still can fall back down, but if you are starting to dip down into some of these cryptos right now and you don't have any Cardano, I think $1, there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking some here, because even if it then does fall another 50%, which would be disastrous, I think you have, some kind of support, when you're talking about being up from 250 down to 50 cents. So look, if you believe, this is my whole thing about crypto right now, guys, is that if you believe in the space, at some point you're gonna have to buy some. And it just doesn't, whatever the price is, I think you start to leg in if you're not in yet. If you're already in and stuck at the top, such is life. It's like being stuck Tesla 900. We'll wait to see what happens now with BTC and everything. But, I like some of these littler coins that actually, this is GME, guys, that actually has, some sort of a potential workaround in the future. So let's just see if crypto is going to change the world, then a day like today is a good buying opportunity. I just would say, just keep some money back in case it's not the bottom.
All right, great morning to have our first guest on the show, Jeff Mendel, VP of OTC Markets, joining us this morning to discuss, I think we're going to talk a little bit about these grayscale products, Jeff. It's great to see you, first of all. Welcome back. Probably an important day, could set up to be, at least, as far as Bitcoin is concerned. A lot of people, looking for a way to be involved in this trade. Obviously, through OTC Markets, we can talk about grayscale products when it comes to both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So why don't you give just a bit of an overview here on both and how traders can utilize those?
Oh, thank you, Brendan. So actually, yes, you are correct. So the best part is if you don't have access to actually trade Bitcoin or Ethereum directly and buy the actual tokens, you can do it on our marketplace. And so you mentioned the grayscale products, right? And so these are basically trusts that are set up. And the two main ones are GBTC and ETHE. GBTC is for Bitcoin and ETHE is for Ethereum. And so, since the crypto space doesn't have any ETFs or anything like that, we have trusts like those two and the other grayscale products that actually trade in our marketplace, and you can trade them right out of your 401k account, right out of your prop trading account, wherever you are, right on on a lot of the popular online discount brokerages. It gives access to people who just don't have all of the crypto infrastructure or whatever you want to call it, your crypto wallet set up.
Yeah, it's good to talk about these on a day like this, because there could potentially be lots of opportunity on either side. Let's talk about volume a little bit here, Jeff. Over the past couple of weeks, have we seen more interest come back towards this space, or tell us a little bit about what we've seen in the volume on these?
So the nice thing about GBTC and ETHE is that they've remained fairly liquid throughout the entire time, right? Back when Bitcoin was approaching 60,000 and all the way back down to here, right? They've maintained that liquidity, and if people want to get involved, they can easily jump in and out of quick trades or not be afraid to jump into maybe a longer term position as well too, because there is a solid market on both sides in these names.
So definitely ones to keep an eye on going forward for this morning. Outside of the crypto space, what have we been seeing over the past couple of weeks? It's been a while since we had you on, so talk us through any other active names that we've had on the OTC.
So, let's take a look at some of the popular ADRs, right? 10-cent TCEHY is always active in this space, right? And so, when GBTC and ETHE kind of stepped up in their volumes, I'm just taking a look over at 10-cent. It's remained consistent. And so, you have that. Then you also have Roche, RHHBY, right? So all the bigger ADRs, I recommend going to our website, otcmarkets.com. Take a look at some of the names that are trading a lot of notional value, meaning they're higher price names. They have a lot of liquidity at the inside, and check it out and see what kind of fits your trading style, right? We have the other names that are some of the penny stock names that trade below a penny. Those things have been jumping around quite a bit. We had one yesterday, HVCW, that traded a ton But that's a different animal, and it's not really suited for all active traders. But if you're on that side as well too, you can also check out HVCW.
Yeah, Sean, just highlighting the most active section there on OTC's website. Absolutely great, up-to-date data if anyone wants to get a better look at what is moving on a daily basis over on the OTC markets. Quickly, before we wrap here, Jeff, talk a little bit about the advantages of being able to see, you mentioned some of the ADRs that trade through OTC markets. Some of the European ADRs specifically, you get the ability to see what's happening over in Europe before U.S. markets open. Obviously, a lot of those going to have OTC listings.
Well, the even nicer part about that too is, right, you do have some actual market open overlap there from 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern time here in the U.S. And so always a lot of activity in there. So it's not just taking that signal in the pre-market to maybe try and line up at 9:30. It's also what's going to happen after 11:30, after the European markets close too. So, those are two times to kind of watch out for. And the best part is you can trade all of these names using OTCX, which is our ECN. And that's perfectly suited to a day trading style or scalping style trade, right? You can go out there on either side of the marketplace. You can access liquidity, not just only within the OTCX book, but also at all the dealers on the over-the-counter space too. So, like I said, always check for a popular ADR and check to see if OTCX is at the inside on your level too.
Going to be an exciting morning, and definitely great to have the ability to take advantage of some of these opportunities in the crypto space through the Grayscale products and OTC markets. Jeff Mendel, VP of OTC markets. It's great to see a little more activity behind you there in the office, Jeff, and always good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
We'll speak to you again soon. There we go, guys. A little bit of a look at OTC markets, some crypto offerings for them. We'll keep an eye on how this pans out. If we hold on to 30,000, what kind of moves these crypto offerings give you throughout the day. Outside of that, let's talk a little bit about what else is moving around in the pre-market. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you grab our absolutely free morning note, guys, that we send out every single morning before we come on. The first one we touched on already. A lot of people still coming in, though, guys. We'll jump into GameStop here first and discuss a little bit of what is happening overall as far as GameStop is concerned. This hasn't really participated over the past couple of weeks as far as the overall rally is concerned, but we get the news this morning, so a little bit of a change here for GME.
Yeah, I mean, in the story that you can find, of course, on our free watch list, they generated 1.1 and change $billion completing that offering, which has been anticipated. Now, when it was announced, it got a spike. So when it gets completed, I suppose it gets a spike as well. And we ran over some levels. Just look, the first thing we talk about is this sort of technical, breakout that happened here back at the end of May, 25th in particular. And you get that break of like a 190 level, and then we're going to bounce off of that. So you also have the 50-period moving average there. So you get that all out of the way. And I said I was looking for something deeper, like a 205. Now, admittedly, I'm a little bit biased in the memes to the south side today, given the price action we've seen, and sitting in the torch, missing the first trade. But I do feel like if there is a pullback, I do like 205. I know Sean's looking at that 210 level, and it's a great one, bouncing off some of those support levels. I do not fancy or favor, I suppose, a 225. Like, who cares about what the pre-market level is to the top? And then you also have this. Usually that'd be a pretty good setup. And you go to Friday's high, you go like a 225, but it's already dipped like $10 off of that price. I mean, if it gets there in the afternoon somehow in GameStop, okay, let's talk about 225 at some point being a good break price. But that smells like a trap to me if you catch that off the open. It would have to run too far to get there and be overextended at 930 if it made that play. I'd rather try to catch a turn on an overextended move to the downside. I had some limited success in that, limited to none yesterday in AMC. It has worked in the past where you get those bounces and scalp on the way through, but you have to hold a level. I think 200 to 205 is a level that would absolutely hold. So that's why I would hold off into getting it until about that 205. So GameStop up once again with the offering completed here.
Okay, I'm just doing we talked about GameStop before, and I brought you guys here. I'll do it again. I'm just going to put up a poll here about Ethereum right now, about Bitcoin and what's going to happen with BTC here as we continue to fall. So I'll just get this to you guys right now. BTC here. Are we going to, there we go, I'll tweet it out right now. Is Bitcoin going to fall to 20,000 or not? So I think that's a pretty good poll here that we just put up right now. So will BTC, 7 hours left. So 1 like and 0 votes. So we just put this up. Will BTC fall to 20 grand right now? So yes or no. Let's review that right now. 7 hours left. We just put it up. Hit a quick little refresh here. So still no votes, but we'll get that going, and I'll show you that in just a couple minutes when we do have about 30, 50 votes, something like that. And maybe we can actually put the poll here in the chat so we can get your opinion, guys, on what you think. Oh, first vote. Dan McIsaac made his first vote there. Okay, guys, my bad. We just have 70 votes right now already. So it doesn't show any votes on there, but we do. I just saw it. So we'll get that going. 23 likes already, guys. Thank you for that. We'll show you that in a minute. Okay, GameStop, though. I like that 210 level. That's what's on the sticky note for today. We just talked about why we thought that was a pretty key level. You can see you go back here to the 10th when we had 210. I mean, here's the prices on here on the side, right? So here's 210 right here. Here's 210 right here. 210, 210, and then yesterday 210. We opened at 210. We opened a little bit higher, but then we crashed at 210, bounced around a little bit, and then right down to 2 bills. So right now, I think we're stuck at that level. It's nice to see. Let's get GameStop back up on the big screen here. Nice to see it at about 216, 217, and now it's coming down. So now you're at 214. So I think the first stop is going to be 210, and that's probably a decent area to look at for some support. And then if you break 210, man, then obviously we're going to be seeing, I think anyways, we will see that 200. Okay, guys, this is what I'm talking about. We'll go diamond hands for the votes, because this is what, what? It's not showing it again on my screen. For some reason, if I put the poll in here and bring this up, you could see everything now. There it is, 234 votes already. People saying that it is going to touch. So we'll see. It was just 300 votes, so we'll keep updating that as it keeps on changing. But 67 likes already, 234 votes, with 60% ranging to the yes side for 20,000. So keep your money in your pocket for now, guys, and we'll wait to see where we go.
All right, guys, few analyst upgrades and downgrades to mention this morning. DoorDash on here to the upside today, making some moves into the grocery delivery space yesterday. If you remember, Twilio as well, a good look today, up nicely in the pre-market. CVS Health, Rite Aid, both to the downside today.
Yeah, DoorDash actually looks pretty good. It's been on a great run as it cracked that 50 period. A 140 break here, looking fantastic. You go right back into like February and it's getting towards those highs, 182. It even looks pretty solid eventually, likely to get some consolidation, hopefully before a run to crack this 177.50 high that it had in yesterday's action. If you get a pullback, I mean, I don't know, it seems like there's a good bid at 165, or at least in that particular area down here on DoorDash. So 164, 165. Not the best day trading stock. It's done 5,000, right? But it's one of those that you want to keep in mind. So when it starts moving, or you get news coming through, you know what the levels are going to be. So it's on my radar. It's not necessarily going to be a trade, off of the bat here. We're going to be involved in that torch, like I said, which actually just moved here, guys. So look, we're live trading, so we got to keep you guys informed of what's going on. Waited to see if we'll get into this cluster here at the top, and this was that last move off 10, got to 980 to $10. So I start shorting when it gets right back into that 980 level. I get 77s short, starting to roll back over. I am going to scalp some in front of the low of the day, but the overall play for me after that flush was to short the level that we wish we had a bit earlier. I mean, there was even a chance much earlier at like the 1050 level in consolidation, but we were looking at other things at that time.
Yeah, I'm still short Torch there. Same price as you, I think 975 or so on this move up there. We'll see just average. I told you this was a very light position. That's why now you're seeing the average price 975, because we did take them all right here. 77, 78, we did get an 85 there. And I think upside, I mean, I got burned going short yesterday on Torch, so I am prepared to get torched again on this name. So we'll wait to see, but I think it needs to get around this 1050 or so. Nothing on a daily chart. Around 1050 of a level here to see what happens. It's right where we closed. I mean, we closed lower yesterday. We closed right around here, 980, so right where we're at. But then in the pre-market, we got up to 10, and then this morning up to 11, and then the offering upsized. So now we'll wait to see where we go from here. But, it's this area why we're short. short in my, is why I'm short. So we'll have to wait to see if we can crack through here. 1030, and then you just go up a little bit, 1050, 1060. So there are some crack levels here for Torch. And again, just an update right now. 400 votes. So thank you. You guys are coming out in droves right now. 400 votes in 4 minutes. 58% right now of you. We'll hit a refresh. I don't know if it happens. 433. It's just cruising around. So I think this is pretty much in the middle there. Brendan, you think we see 20,000?
Wow. Hope not, but let's see what happens. I mean, that's tough, man. That could be the next stop, definitely. Let's just watching the market going red here, guys. So a little bit of selling coming back in. Let's bring in Arun, get a check on the futures, see what happens as far as the futures are concerned today. A little bit more negative here in the past few minutes, Arun.
Yeah, we're going a little bit negative. We've had quite the run yesterday. It was from the get-go, from the open, and we went straight up. I think by the time we finished, from the open to the close, we were up 45 points on the S&P futures. So it's about time for a break, right? We get to this, 4220 area. We've struggled here in the last week or so. So it's no surprise that we're stalling out. For now, I am going to mark off underneath 4200 as potential support. It is an area to watch, but at the same time, you're going to need a very solid setup in front of it. And if it gets underneath, it's not going to be an automatic exit either. The way I'm managing this, or if I were to get long, the way I would manage this is very slowly. Yeah, meaning I'm going to give it a chance to breathe underneath 4200 before I say, you know what, the long is out. But for now, we have put in it does look like we put in a top. So I am going to look for some longs if we can get underneath 4210. Risking about 10 to 15 points from there going on down to 4,200. But, we've put in the top around the established resistance area from last week, and we still have somewhat of some support around the 4,200. So at this point, you're going to have to just wait it out, find a setup that works out. I rather favor the long side than the short side. Not saying that it's a long right now, but I rather favor the long side because I like the support area better than I do like the resistance area, because the resistance area above 4220 kind of expands a little bit. So I wouldn't know exactly where to put a stop if I were to go short. It seems like it could slide. Right now, it's just above 25, but it could easily slide to 30 given how much action we've gotten in the past up there. So I would just favor the long sides if I can get a proper setup. So until that happens, I think I'm just going to wait it out. And of course, if you break the 4200 and you get that settlement underneath there, we've got a lot of space to the downside, given how we moved yesterday, right? When you move in that fashion where it's just kind of straight up with no retracement, it creates a vacuum underneath with no support. So if we were to break 4,200, settle in underneath, I think you have to start looking into at least 4,170 before you start finding some support. So we've got 30 points in space to the downside if we do decide to go. And if we do find some support, if you do find a setup to the long side, I think you can go ahead and go long in front of that 4,200.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning as we head towards the open here, guys. We're under 30 minutes to go before the market opens. Let's go back to AMC. What do we do with AMC here today, guys? We had the down, finally, a bit of a down move yesterday for this name, opening lower again this morning.
The quietest of the bunch. AMC certainly looks like it's going to be. Now, there were some levels that we talked about yesterday, and look, it fell. I was long. I was negative on the stock yesterday, trying to buy every single dip, and then scalping like dollars at a time, and then just losing more on the rest of the trade. So if we go right back into this 5150 area, you did have this nice breakout, gave you that triple entry point there. If you go back into the 14th, and then a couple of times we've bounced off of that. So on any kind of a downward move, I think this is the next leg down everyone's going to be looking at. For me, that's basically the only price I want to buy a dip. I mean, you got to change up the approach at least a little bit here instead of trying to scalp every single level and maybe think about, okay, it has to go down to that perfect price and then launch a defense there. You probably need to give it through that level, I think, on the way downside. So, I'd be willing to allow it to break like at 51, but I'd want to have, if it broke 51 and my price wasn't between 51.50 and 52, if it was above that 52, that means I've done it wrong. So in my estimation, I want that price between 51.50 and 52 if there's a dip and 51 were to break, guys. So that's the level of risk I would want in that trade. As far as breakouts go, I'm not really looking at a breakout the same way as I'd be thinking about GameStop here. I'd rather look for that potential dip trade. And there's other meme names here that I, sort of already in the shorted torch, and looking at Wish. and wishing that I had managed to get into that one. Like Wish just popped into VWAP in 1370, and I didn't take it because I was getting looking to get more of Torch. So another missed opportunity in Wish, as that just broke the low of the day.
Yeah, we held, yeah, I mean, the market's getting hit here. We came in when the market was up. Bitcoin holding 30, but barely. ETH just bounced from 17 to 18. So there is a little bit of love here for some of the cryptos, at least a little bit right now, trying to hold out on that 30. Yeah, so AMC yesterday holds this bottom of 54 pretty good into the close, especially. So this is aftermarket, but into the close there, we did bump up a little bit I mean, we were trading this, right? 56.30 or so. We were trying to wait for this 57 break, never happened. So we managed just to get in and out a couple times here on the close with nothing really too significant. And then anyways, this is that blowout bottom. We talked about that there, 53.50. So there is some sort of, bottom to look at right here, 53.50 on, sorry, is it? Yeah, 53, so that's not even that far away. So I like a short through there. I do think that this is a little bit of a longer period chart right now at 20 minutes. So we do like to look at that, as you guys know, just to get some better look at levels here. There it is right there. I mean, Neil's already gone over this. So $51, $52, that's the bottom the last couple days. So we'll see if we can't get a sort of a, bounce effect from there, springboard, if you will, upside on AMC. So let's wait to see. Yesterday, even though we had a big down day, it was very calm. Like basically from 11 o'clock on, didn't do much. So right now, AMC kind of in that area again. It looks very, very, on a breaking point. I hate to say that because I know a lot of you are long and looking to hold longs, but you have to hold this 52 today. If you don't, then I mean, next stop 50, and it went through butter with a couple levels yesterday. Like it just went right through 56 and went all the way to 54 there. So I'm looking at a 50 break if we break 52. So very, very cautious longs here today on AMC, guys.
All right, let's go to Torchlight Energy Resources next. Struggling here, guys. Lots of volume going off, though, in front of $10. They came out upsizing their offering to $250 million after Monday's move. I mean, this is, I guess, a pretty good idea for the company. But nevertheless, we are trying to bounce back into positive territory here for TRCH.
Yeah, it made that bounce, and not off a significant level by any stretch of the imagination. It happened to be at like 940, so I don't know that you can read anything too far into the price that we just bounced off of on Torch, but we just finally touched that 10, like the first step up. It touched this like 980, 975, 980 area, get into the short off of that level. It clusters again. We just touched 10 even. So if it starts to slide back down, I like a re-entry. Maybe you get some more shares at like an 85, but you can't dig. To me, I don't want to dig too deep. If 10 breaks, I did like to look at 1050, and I said, when I sat down, some of the things that I was looking at in Torch got thrown out the window when you had this secondary and, well, I guess third breakdown on the stock. This was the biggest one that happened from like 1040 all the way to that $940 $1 move. But I do like that still rollover type trade. I mean, I've done it before where you get a double top like this. I mean, it's 1090 here, and you get like 11 as well. But, it's close enough to that double top that if you were to make a break, and that would probably be already stopped out maybe once or twice into the open if this happens, but if you get that break that tries to get to that high of the day, stalls out at that high, and then rolls over, that is still an entry point that I like, especially in a stock that has gone parabolic for a few days in a row and might have been due for at least a little bit of a correction there, guys. So I don't know if that's going to happen. We're like $1. I mean, it would have to rally $1 for that 930 setup, and I'm already seeing it short off that 10. So I want to have it lined up just in case it happens. I'm perfectly willing to get out of this trade and then look right at like 930 to 935 on strength if we can catch that fade trade off of yesterday's high and out at the current high of the day. It sits at 1120, but I'd look at 1125 if that were the case. For now, we're short in front of 10 in VWAP, and we'll see what happens with that one. I should have had Wish. Someone asked, I think it was like Vivek in the chat, what are my sentiments on Wish? And I was like, yeah, I got a short bias on it today. And it popped at the same time as Torch was coming up here. So that's the only excuse for missing it.
All right, yeah, so Torch is going to the upside here. It just does break that $10. So we're going to wait here for 1060 or so, that level to break. And yeah, I won't be, I'll average it maybe one more time. But that you know, whatever. I'm just trying to make this thing go, you know, not make it go, but try to see if we did have some downside moves there. We got lit up in Torch yesterday before reversing long. So if we do that, we do that again. And then we'll see about taking out the top and then make that money back. But for right now, we're short Torch and I don't like it. So there's that. And then also, I just tweeted it out as well, guys. If you want to follow on Twitter, you can. Stealing Brendan's job here. We just tweeted it out that Fubo here joining the Russell 3000. So Fubo is about to join it. So I went long at 32. We tweeted that out there as well. And then you can follow me at TraderTV Sean. And now we're back to the upside. We did have an average in there at 3170. So let's see where we go from here with Fubo TV to the upside. And I just feel like, you know, on that news, we have bottoms here of 31. So worst case scenario on this trade, I take a buck hit or so, but we're upside now 32. We got a nice little average in. We'll take some pieces out here if we can, but right now that's that. Torch does come back to put down through $10, guys. And then on the poll as well, just quickly, we have 600 votes now. Thank you so much for supporting this, and it's a big yes for that. Now, I didn't give a time frame. It's just more like,
so it should be yes.
Will it touch? I don't know. Will it touch 20,000? I mean, it doesn't, you know, it's like saying, does Palantir touch $15 again? You know, it's like you just make the call and then you tell me if you think it's going to go down there. Like, does Tesla touch $400? I don't need a time frame. It's just you tell me if you think it's going to touch that again. But right now, Bitcoin to the downside. We can have a quick look here. As I know it's on everybody's mind, we just cracked I don't need to show all these. This is the order flow. We just cracked below 29.8 again. So right now, BTC is heading to the downside with lots of volume. There's the price right there. Lots of volume going through. So we're going to watch out for Bitcoin continuing to head southbound here.
All right, the next one here, Wish. Guys, let's go to Context Logic again this morning. Among the most active in this group, Wish with a big move yesterday all the way up to 14. I guess that was in the aftermarket. We got to 14, but held that in the pre-market. We're breaking back down through 13.5 here, guys. What do we do with Wish today?
My bias is to the south side. There's no question about it. And again, this is set up probably even better. You know, on the chart, it looks better than Torch. And we talked about this in the close show. That test at 14 even, maybe it does it in post market. But anytime you, even if it happens at 4, you stall out right here at that 12 mark, and then you get another attempted breakout of that 14 level, and then you're rolling over. So it had a double top. You're already sort of extending here, and the last time it extends, this is not usually a multi-day rally. The last time it did it off the bottom, it was essentially a one-day event. It tried to spike on that second day and then came right back in. So that was the reason for my bearish sort of sentiment here. And then, of course, as this was happening, Torch made its move, and I got into Torch instead of Wish. But if it comes back, look, I think for me, the go zone's going to be around, I guess, like those mid-60s if it comes back into that cluster. And then I have to have a little something in front of that 80 in those 80s as well. You know, I kind of lean into wanting that to be a one trade if possible, but it might actually end up being 2 if this extends any further. That test of the top has got to be there for me. It fails at 14 a couple times, especially when the retail comes in at 7 o'clock, and then you have the aftermarket failure at that price to hold. So it feels like 14 is definitely a good resistance area to that top, and then we'll test something out a little bit earlier around that 1365. So definitely have that negative sentiment over in Wish. If you're looking for where the dip might get to, I mean, there isn't much of anything. There's the afternoon yesterday at 1285, and then from there you're looking at essentially like 12 even to 1225. 1225, of course, being where that breakout trade happened.
So I actually wrote down a little bit opposite of that one. I have 4. This is on the sticky note, and I just put the tweet, the link in the chat there because people asking me, people even messaging me on Twitter. It's on Twitter. Like, so if you're messaging me on Twitter, just go to my profile. It was there today at 8:30. But I just said 1440 break off the top like yesterday. So, and it's just, I don't know, who knows if it's going to happen or not. I've been short Wish a lot, made a lot of money on the short. Like, remember when it was at 13 and I called 10 and it went right there that day? So, you know, this is just, I'm just looking at what happened yesterday. This is the trade that we had. It was our trade of the day where we picked the absolute bottom long yesterday in Wish. We were long 1156. It's the trade of the day. You can go find it. And then we were able to get long again when it broke through 1225. And then we got out around 13-ish right here before watching it basically all day just continue to make moves. It does back test VWAP there back to 13. And so I don't know. I don't see why we can't do something very, very similar today, but that is a nice move to the downside. So now all of a sudden that 14, whatever level I said, breaking the top there, it seems like it's a little too far away. So if you're going to have some breaking spots here, maybe 1350 to the long side on Wish, something like that. So I think that's what we're going to look for right now. We'll test along at 1350 on Wish and then just give it back here to about 13. So we'll look to see if we can get 50 cents one way or the other on Wish. But I do prefer the long as opposed to the short. So it would be 1350 there on Wish. But you know, it's not a fundamental thing. This is just breaking this high, and just want to see if we do have some reaction like we did yesterday, guys.
All right, about 15 minutes ago here before we get the market open, let's talk about Microvision. Plug Power on the list this morning as well. They reported actually decent earnings, so heads up on Plug, not doing a heck of a lot. But let's talk about this one, another one in this group, guys. Yeah, down more than that, actually. 140 million equity raise for Microvision. It's the day of the offerings, I guess, for these stocks.
Yeah, this one is short sell restricted. It is down 11% on the session and trying to get to this $16 range. Now, this has been sliding back down on Microvision, so heading into this, it had been relatively weak. That's why we're going to be concerned with it. But most of the move down was in yesterday after the close. It's trying to hold above this price. Look, I'm going to look at this like it's about 1740 here to this little downside. It's a pre-market low. There was some support down there on Microvision. Yeah, it's SSR. And the volume isn't necessarily fantastic, but you get a bit of a pre-market double bottom on that light volume. It does give you a look for that short. I just wanted to note that we talked about Plug Power, but it did just have a volume spike just now, so it did get off the bottom. It just broke 30 even. I came in and had like a 30-60 area that I liked on Plug Power. That got taken out. It was sleepy and there wasn't anything happening on it, so I'm not going to put a stop order when nothing is going on. And then we got that bit of a break. So if it wants to try to hold this level, I'm going to go ahead and throw a bid out in front of that 30-60 area and see if I can catch some of Plug Power. It was sort of mixed, but decent earnings for them. In the daily, daily tells you all you need to know. Like, there's been a break in the 50 period. We're now holding that 28.50 and trying to get back over towards this 34 high. So not explosive movement, but certainly in the right trend here post earnings. I like that 30.60 level.
Yeah, and we're looking at, so Plug Power is a good one if it can come back a little bit. Fubo bouncing around still. We still are long that one. Of course, this one's not an offering. This is set to join the Russell 3000. We were downside yesterday on Fubo, 28.29. Nice little run up. We saw that happen with tons of volume there. I'm not even sure what this volume is all about there on Fubo yesterday. I don't know if someone got wind of that maybe. And then now today, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's old news. I just saw it hit the wire right now. $30.50, kind of the bottom there. So we'll wait to see. But a couple longs here on Fubo, giving our average price at 86. And then we still are watching right now Torch as it just bounces around. I actually had an offer to get more short in the 10-20 area right around VWAP here, but that didn't come in. I wish it had, because here we go now back to the downside. TRCH putting this only 12 cents out right now.
Just keeping my eye on Plug here, guys. There was a few things. The actual call, the earnings call, started at 8:30, so could have come from that, but we'll keep an eye on Plug. Over the next few minutes here, let's talk about the next one. Sanderson Farm, which is the largest poultry producer in the U.S., or the third largest, I should say, not the largest. Remember yesterday we were talking about chicken wings and the lack thereof. Chicken wings, we talked about that wing stock. There was, yeah. Apparently there's still and growing a shortage of chicken and poultry products in the U.S. So Sanderson Farm up big time here this morning, guys. There's rumors that they want to actually explore the possibility of a sale. So that's SAFM.
Yeah, and look, this is the thing. Like, it's not done a ton of volume here, but there's been a boatload of deal action this year, every expert will tell you there's going to be even more going into the future. So a lot of times when you get the speculation like this and there's nothing firm, you start to think about where a floor might be on this particular stock. I mean, it was a decent looking chart before, a couple of days ago when it rolled back over at 166 here. But I would look back to see if if no news comes out, saying, hey, this is who's interested in them, and here's some specific terms. You might look back towards these previous high clusters like 175 to maybe put a temporary floor on a stock, and that's the way I always try to approach these when it's only pure speculation, not necessarily to jump in and chase it. because anyone looking to acquire this, if someone's been talking about acquiring them, then in this range, they've been thinking about a 160 price. The fact that it goes up to 185 usually doesn't change too much, right? Like if they're thinking premium from a 160 and they wanted to put 40% on it, then it's no longer 40% from the top. Like that's going to be a 225, and you're talking about like more like a 25% premium from where it is. I'm just making those numbers up, but give you an idea. If there was already speculation going on, you know, you don't get an extra move or extra value based on here. You're just essentially widening the risk to reward. If nothing happens, it could be back at 155, and then maybe that top isn't as high as you think if a deal comes through. So, you know, just wait for news. And maybe if you like it, you start to think about where the floor might be. I'd wait back to like 175, but that's just my 2 cents.
Okay, I mean, this is a good opportunity to, you know, I mean, you have a dancing chicken here. So yesterday, Brandon, you brought us this name Wingstop, and it was a good one. If you just went long, when you talked about it, the only problem is liquidity for a day trade is pretty bad. You see all these gaps here. No, they're not halts. They're just no trades in a couple minutes there. I mean, I don't think it would have halted anyways. So yeah, you see a lot of volume off here at 2 o'clock. Don't understand why that happened. And then a big volume at the close with the closing print as well. So right now, Wingstop, not a bad opportunity. If you liked it into this play there, this is what happens when your charts freeze. You get this frozen thing of death there. So we will reload our daily chart. But Wingstop, not bad for a long-term hold if you like the story or don't like the story.
Yeah, that was the thigh stop, I think is what they called it, the online version. Remember, that was that spike for Wing yesterday. They launched the thigh stop instead of Wing. Let's talk about VT up 15% still. It's holding lower. You got to give this all the way back to 320. If you go to the daily chart, that's 320. So the top end, basically, of the daily chart range, 350 above that would be the ultimate high to give this to. But they signed a distribution deal for a cancer treatment, guys, for VT.
Yeah, that 320 top, as William Kassouf, the poker player, would say. But it made a test of that a second time through. I had this one short. A couple of guys were in the chat earlier on, and we were talking about this one. It rolled over, consolidation, out some at 295, rolled over again, got a bunch out in front of 280. I'm barely holding anything left of this thing. If it pops into the open, I think it's worth one of those 930 type rollover ideas. So it's going to be probably dedicated to one of my level 2s on the chance that this gets a move in to this $3 range first at 930. I will not add to it until we get a press at the, I'm assuming we might get a press at the open because it happens from time to time. A little bit of buying comes into the stock when it's gapped up. If that happens, I'm looking to play in front of that high of the day as well, but also willing to catch a rollover at 3 because of the cluster that we had here and a little bit of price acceptance in that area. We're right back to flat on Torch. That's kind of a jinx. On the way back down, when it retook 10, that's when I got back in, down, not up. But we're right back to flat, at least for now, because my price is going to be 980. I still want to have some bids out in front of these levels here on the way to the low of the day. But as you guys all know, sitting in the short trade in Torch, still looking for a chance to catch it. Catch it if I can in Wish, but I might have missed a little bit of that opportunity. So I'll likely be waiting until 930 to make any kind of a move on Wish. That 14 level at the top, 1412 was the high from yesterday's action. That's where I'd be out. That's where I'd be looking. If you want to look for a long, I think it has to breach that level. It was a failed break at 14 that had to get past that 12. First things first, we're involved in Torch, and don't get too far away from GameStop. I know it's sleepy. It actually has news in today, and it's sort of barcoding and up 7%, offering complete. I just can't see it barcoding for very long. It's going to likely make a move here, and if it's that downside, I'm sort of eyeballing a bounce at 205.
Okay, I was also thinking about Yum Brands here, guys. If you didn't like the Wingstop liquidity or there's really nothing there for you, I know there's a lot of people invested in Yum. You get KFC talk in here. So I saw in the chat, you guys were like, oh, I don't like Wingstop, I like KFC. So Yum Brands right there, a nice little bottom, 115. You can play off of this 100, and then that's only 15% downside if you do play off this 100. So we can watch out to see if Yum Brands breaks the top. And again, I need to study more. Like, I don't know if this shortage is a good thing or bad thing. I would say it's a bad thing for some of these companies. So, can they pass on the price increase? I guess that's still to come on that. And then Fubo TV right right now, starting to go a little bit. So we'll see if we can spit out a couple cash spots here for Fubo TV into the upside right there off a couple longs. We'll see. I wanted to break this 32.50. If and when we break 32.50, I do have, and I've been talking about this, I do have a trade to get out around 33. So we'll take $1 on the first bit, call it $1.12 so, and then we'll see where we can go from there. But it looks like it's going to be a good day for us here. Short torch and long Fubo TV.
There's one at the bottom of our watch list of Biopath Holdings I want to get to here. They got a patent trademark and it was granted. It was a big gap up, needless to say, 640 all the way into 850. But anytime I see it 7 or just after 7 o'clock, one of these big time rollovers, like a big failure, I usually look to short that move. I got in and out of it off this range. You can look here. This first pullback to $8, nice little round number for you, and then it stalled at 735. So played the 8 short, basically into 735. I got out in front of the 50 because it's a round number. That was foolish. But now this 730 level, 730 to 735, looks like it's got a bit of a bounce. So this could make that same move that I was looking at in VTVT, where you press up into 8 even. You have that high of the day as well, and then you have a clear resist or support level, I guess, which needs to break. And then you look to short it off the open 930 off that 8, or if it breaks 8 even, you're looking to maybe catch a turn off at 850, which is that high. BPTH has a history of these moves and then sharp retracements. Obviously, this is nothing like what it did back in February, but patterns are patterns, and we look to follow them until they don't work anymore.
Okay, are we done our list? It gets this back on us here. I see some people talking about going through Ford here. It's only 9.25 right now, but there's Ford. A good call on today. It's up that 1.42%, looking to break through 14 yesterday. We are going to go to Brendan in a little bit. I have to clean this chart up. So we'll go to Brendan and then come back and I'll have a quick look at Ford.
Yeah, another one moving here in the pre-market here, guys. Alf, remember Alfie back to the upside, 20%. It's holding above 9, worth noting. That was almost 9 the last time we were up here. The CEO commenting this morning about how undervalued the stock is. They're going to buy back 2 million in shares, so a heads up for Alfie again today.
Narf or Snarf? I always forget like his catchphrase, but that's Al from the TV show. I gotta go and get some. So as I'm doing this, I'm literally going to be getting some locates because I think we have to pay for shorts. I'm gonna get a quote for myself on Alf, but I pulled it up. I'm like, I know the stock. We've traded it before. Yeah, look at that cluster here, guys. And we're basically looking at this 920 level, and then you go over to the daily chart, like Brennan mentioned, and it just broke this 910. So this is a good turnaround zone if it makes a pull. This is that 910 area you saw on the daily chart. If it breaks that to the downside, I think it's out for a retracement.
All right, guys, new position alert. There's that Wish trade that we talked about. We wanted it at 13.50, so we got it. Sometimes you get what you want and it doesn't go. So we'll wait to see if it does. We're long right here at 13.53. We just hit the sire, and that's going to be a new position alert, right? So there it is. We'll see about getting out some if we break back through VWAP, and then we will look at the top here later on. So we'll see. I mean, it could be a negative day for Wish today. So, again, if it does come to the downside, we do have this VWAP spot here of 1290 where we're going to know that we're wrong. But that is Wish coming to the upside, that level that we like. So let's see if it takes out the bottom. We do also have a stop order. I'm going to put it in right now for this 1290 or so area there on Wish. We're not going to average in. We're either going to be right or wrong on this one, but so far so good today. Wish long in the money 5 cents. Whatever, and then Fubo long in the money 17 cents. So right now we're rocking and rolling, but we still have 3 minutes to go, guys. Should be a good open. Lots of names on. If you do need some ideas, check out the sticky note before Neil looks at gift horse in the mouth. You could check out the sticky note there for some good ideas. We do like softy as well today, guys.
Interesting thing is, it's like the whole idea is to not look a gift horse in the mouth as I'm staring it in the face there. You don't want to do that, guys. So plug power. Look, I had 3060 as a level. It was doing nothing at the low. The volume spike came in, so I come right back into that 3060. It gives me the entry point. I got 66 in front. It's also VWAP, but who cares this time of the day? I'd take some out for the quick, like 40-cent scalp, 40, 50 cents, who cares? It was more about this little spike that failed on a lower high. Now I want to see if we can hang on to this one to the open. As good as that is, we're back above 10 on Torch, so you got to watch out for that one. Looking like it might have some strength in it, and with 2.5 minutes to go, Wish just popped up, as Sean mentioned there. Torch also popped up. GameStop, I said it wasn't going to barcode for forever, and then it tried to go and then stalled about $2 into the same range. Well, it continues to barcode. This is the one that had the offering they just completed, and there was a point this morning where it seemed like it was going to be the most active. For now, it's still a little bit asleep, but it's a dip buy that I want. the fact this clustering here lends itself towards maybe catching a dip through this 214. So be alert in the next 2 minutes for a GameStop move.
So yesterday we had a $4 or $5 winner, I think, on Microsoft, top to bottom. We did. Oh, here it is, right here. So sometimes our levels load up here. This was. What am I doing? I need this on here. Yesterday we did get a 258 bid there, and we got it out at 260. So that was a $2 win before it ripped $5. We don't have the $5 winner, but that's straight to the upside there on Softy. So we'll see today if you can get some dips into 261, 262. I don't know. The NASDAQ is making moves to the downside right now, so that is going to be a little bit of a scary move for us on that name. So we are looking at that for Microsoft as a little bit of a dip buy. AMC, we could check in quickly. So that's just Microsoft. AMC will check in quickly. What we were looking at here was this 54 break. That's still a Microsoft chart. Oh, God. This 50, what is this? This final spot right there, whatever that wick was down to the bottom side. So 53.50, you get a break there, and I think you got to take that short at least for a little bit. At least try to hold it for a little bit there on AMC and see if we retest that 52, guys.
Yeah, and I did get those locates for ALF, one of our favorite stocks in here. And look, I'm going to go for that. I said 910. We're going to go for that 910. It was like 1 cent per share. So again, thank you, day trader. Well, sorry, don't check that. It was 2.7 cents per share, which we'll go ahead and take. It's up 20%. We already called out that level. We got 40 seconds until the open. The simple fact that Miss V is sitting next to me makes me feel like Randy, who you guys all know and love, there he is in the Superman shirt, is going to be ringing the bell today. So things to watch. BPTH, I'm watching off the open. We're in Torch to the short side, watching Al for the downside, watching for dip buy in GameStop. And of course, I got Plug, and Sean is over there in Fubo getting added to the Russell there. So lots to cover. It's already been a busy one. It feels like we've done almost a complete show, but we ain't going nowhere because the market's not even open. So it's about to get frisky. And I didn't even talk about Bitcoin, which again, crypto was falling. The bell is dropping. Let's go, Randy. 3, 2, and 1. Ring it, Superman.
Okay, Randy, like we're right here, bro. Like, like now I can't even hear anything. Okay, AMC is coming to the downside. Thank you, Mr. Randy. If you want to find Randy at TraderTV Randy on Twitter, he's a good follow. I don't know if he's posted anything, but I think he's a good follow. Okay, Torch right now, upside. There's that move to the upside right there, taking out certain levels.
Oh, no,
and then falling right back down. Bang on Torch, guys. A nice little trade there. We got that. Boom, boom, and boom on Torch. Let's go.
Oh, that's like literally my patented setup at 9:30. I'm glad you got that, Sean. It goes right into those bids. This is why you have bids out there, guys, so you can get caught. If it comes right back into 10, we'll go for it. Plug just hit like 31, but BPTH is heading straight downside. No bounce in that one.
Guys, 50 cents, 70 cents in the money now with Fubo, so we can cancel our plug. I didn't get that. 32.80s we were waiting for on Fubo, so let's see if we could get that. A nice little kick up to the upside right there. We're too busy celebrating Torch, guys, with that one. A big win for us. Right up to that level, then right down, bang, bang, bang. A good trade there. AMC, we're short now, guys. This is not the trade that, I want necessarily, but we're going to wait to see if it comes to the downside now as it just bounces off that 53.50, guys.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to look at GameStop. We talked that maybe it would make a move off of the open. It's still in the same range. It was doing absolutely nothing. That's a bit of a sleeper.
Torch.
Torch is now still at 937, so it hasn't broken that low. VTVT was one of the other ones we were talking about off of that little open trade.
Sorry, it was Fubo,
it is
guys.
Holding right at that absolute bottom. Plug is still barcoding, so it has a chance to maybe bounce and give us that 3060 one more time.
All right, guys, you guys want some hot dogs? Here we go. Get ready for El Hot Dog Cannon. There we go, guys. 31.73. Oops, we did it again, Brittany. It's more money for this. Fubo to the upside, man. Did we ever call that one? If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that as well, because right here, we just gave this one to you. 30 minutes ago, Fubo TV, I'm long at 32. There it is, 33.25. So it's celebrate good times here with Fubo TV, with Torch. And then, by the way, how about Wish? What another one. We did it. We slayed that dragon again, guys. The long on Wish comes in. Good trade there.
Yeah, Plug's like 75 cents the money. I want to take in the top. High of the day would give me about $1, but I got to get more shares out. This is low on Torch. It just bounced off that level. So I'm like, get shares out. If it holds this level, we're coming right back into that 10, and you're likely going to want to rinse and repeat if that's your game. If it breaks this 10, 20 level, I want to get out and hunt back to a better price. So I had to make sure I take some profits out of there so we can make that rinse and repeat trade, which you know we love. Now, once you deal with the trade that's a little bit more prescient, I can think about Plug Power here. I just quickly said It might give you that 30.60 again. It did. We're trading other things at the time. Hopefully somebody caught it. It's now headed right back up towards that top. We break the high of the day. I'll put a trail on plug, but muted earnings, big move up during the call, and looking like it's trying to sustain it here. So plug still on the move.
Okay, I'm just, you know what? That's it. We're going to get out of Wish. That's it. We're done. I don't need, we're just going to get out for flat on the rest. We'll put that money in our pocket and then get out of Torch there, or get out of Wish, sorry. I do like it to the downside, but we're going to always take profit there when something like that does happen. So there's a big trade for us to start the day on Wish. So we'll do a little backflip action there and cash that in. And then here comes AMC to the downside as well, guys. Breaking that 53, so 53.50, and now making moves, guys. So we'll get some out there at 53 even. That's another one, man. A roller coaster ride today. We're at a pretty high spot right now for us today. 4 for 4, guys. Wish, Torch, AMC, and Fubo. Lego, Brendo.
Yeah, huge flush on Torch, guys. Have a look at Alfie as well. Big move to the upside. Really nice opportunity. 920 to 1020 off the bat there for Alf, guys.
And it just made it's interesting, it just made a bit of a turn off 10. Now keep in mind, we showed you guys that daily chart. There's nothing to look at these levels on ALF. So if it halts, that's an entry point. If it doesn't, you got to sit back, relax. If you're in the long, kind of hang on to it. Wish, I'm going to kick myself over this one. We're involved in 5 stocks at the same time at the open, and I try not to dig too deep. What does Wish do? Yeah, pops right into that high off of 14, and there's that 930 reversal. So sometimes that setup is absolute gold. Wish on the lows of the day now. I mean, it's an absolute perfect trade if you got it there, guys. So that's why we show it to you guys, so we give you the train of action so you can look at this and learn how to get in and out and what people look for when things go nuts at 930.
And guys, you know, I go long and short. Look at this. Fubo, $1.50 in the money. AMC, $1 in the money. Torch, 70 cents now in the money, guys. And man, did we call these trades today. So really, really happy with the way some of these are panning out for us. As Torch just continues to go to the bottom, we do have a bid at 920 something. I'm going to cancel that, man. We've already cashed out there, whether or not Torch goes or does not. Thank you, Ms. V, for that. Look, you've been wearing green twice in a row. So we and the market, thank you for that. As green apparently is the key to today. As we are just rocking, guys. Fubo, $1.70 in the money. AMC, we just cashed them out at 52.60 there. Torch is 50 cents in the money. And then Wish, we already crushed Wish there. Not crushed it, but we take that 30 cents on Wish. So for me, that's pretty good. Not going to be your trade of the day. It's not sexy enough, but another good trade for me on Wish, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to that Torch because it just made a bit of a bounce here. So we're coming right back in. It's trying to test VWAP. I mean, I tried to catch it there in the 90s. Looks like it didn't want to go. Brendo, we're going to go to you, but I'll see if we can get VWAP next time. Brendo?
Nice move for CrowdStrike here, guys. 4% on the day already. 250 incoming. Looks like for CRWD, recent highs, a couple of upgrades for this one today.
I absolutely love this, guys. We want you guys to stay, but, you know, scumbag shorting AMC and Torch. You know what? Scumbag this, guys, because honestly, you know, we're here to teach you guys, and we're here to give you some plays, you know, and unfortunately, the market does have 2 ways it could possibly go, up and down. So there is a possibility that some stocks do go down at some point, guys. But maybe stay because I longed Fubo.
Actually, no, I'll do you one more. Here's the thing. We're flat at the end of the day as day traders. If you honestly think that that actually affects you guys as the retailers holding the longs, believe me, it doesn't. If anything, on the bigger up days, when I'm making top wick or any day trader is piling into it, that actually helps the moves. We're not shorting it overnight like a hedge fund piling into it every single day because we physically couldn't do that. But what you can figure out here is how you can buy dips instead of paying up and getting into this move here at $10 on Torch. If you're bullish on it and there's that setup for the reversal, well, maybe you bought it at 930 and you got 70 cents or 7% better of a price, guys. There's always something every single trader can learn, regardless of which direction you want to play into it. This is day trading here. We're in and out pretty fast. And speaking of that, I should have just reloaded on plug, and I did not, giving you that little rant. It just dips back into like 30.60, gives you another look at that scalp trade. That's now 3 times it's done it. The 3rd time usually get charm. If it comes again, I got to consider covering the trade instead.
I'm down with some of those charms.
What the?
Yeah, well put there. Okay, we will wait here. Torch, AMC, still trying to go a little bit. AMC did bounce off that level there, so those of you that are worried about AMC continuing to go down, I don't know. I mean, we already made the call that we thought maybe 50 was coming, but we need, remember what I said, needs to break 52 first. So should have had another bid down there, but you know, AMC is what it is. We'll see where we want to go from here on that one. Not much happening with Ethereum. I did trade a little bit there, a little long, and then out. You did see it spike 1870 down 10%. That's ETHE. AMC, let's cover a little bit here. That 52 was a good bounce.
And yeah, here comes plug. It's heading towards that high of the day. If it turns at 3170, not 3175, I almost said the 3/4. If it turns there, I want to see if I can get something out in the 40s and 50s, lock in some profit, and then look for a potential break or another bit of a dip buy. So there's the turn. That's me getting out as I said I would. So we just got 40, I don't know, somewhere in the mid 40s there. I'll think about that later. You can look at a break at 70. My first thought is, do we pull back into 3060 to 31 even where VWAP stands? The break to me would be that 3/4 mark, 3175. So plug already giving us arrows up, but we're not nearly done with this name.
I want to give a big thank you to, I see he's back. It's Mr. Bacon in the building. What up, Russell Jackson? Thank you so much for the super chat again. I like your little picture there. That's pretty cool. I can't really see what it is. I don't know if you're smoking a cigar there. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for a new member here. Doctor in the building. Thank you so much, Doctor, for following us as well and watching us. And then I believe this, or else I wouldn't say it, but we are the best damn show on YouTube, so keep following us and watch us every single day, man. We ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter if the stocks stop trading. We're going to be here. We've been here for you every single day, over 220,000 subs. So thank you so much for watching and enjoying the show, guys.
Oh my goodness, VPTH. So that's a missed opportunity. We'll review that one in just a little bit later on because that's already gone so to the downside. I want to go back to Torch because we got this little spike. This spiked up and I caught it on the way down at 980 and was immediately out some at 72s because it just stacked up there a little bit in that mid 70 range, and now we're getting a consolidation above VWAP. So at this particular point, it's like put up or shut up at this 1020 area. If it makes a break there, I'm going to be out and then waiting for that high of the day. Otherwise, I don't want to turn a winning trade into a losing trade. We're going to go to Brendan, and I think Torch is making that attempt at a turn. Brendo?
We talked about it in the pre-market, guys. Nice consolidation heading into the open. SPLK now 10% day highs here, just above 139 there for Splunk.
Okay, Torch, yeah, we're still in the short there. Nice little win there for us there. Fubo TV still $1.40 in the money. And guess what happened? Sorry, not sorry, but slay, Dragon, slay for AMC. We did get some out at 53 there. That was a little bit of a mistake. There's no doubt about that, but then we just bounced again off 52. So we're making a little bit of money back from we lost yesterday. Look, yesterday, I can show you yesterday, guys. Oh, I don't have my executions here, but I was long AMC in all of this yesterday. So for me to switch it up to a short today, it was a little painful to do that, but we did it at AMC today, a nice little short. Hey, man, look, I'm $1.50 now in the money. I'm not going to complain or feel bad for anybody that's long this name. Maybe I am long, but the point is here on a day trade we're short, and it's because I like a lot of money. All right, so let's just keep that going for today. We're on a nice spot today, 1 times daily goal. So let's wait to see where we go from here, guys.
And look, we're going to keep going with it. We're going to flush it down the toilet, and that's going to be that Torch. And it's only because it's moving to the downside. Just said put up or shut up, 1020. It touches that 1020 level, reversal. I'm going to take some shares out on the way down. Why? Because it keeps on putting higher lows in on this little move. This is a double bottom here pre-market. It's a wipeout into that double bottom. If it breaks that, there will be momentum into a trade, I would think. So I'm going to continue. Each time it gives me a worse price, or a better price, I should say, because I'm shorting it higher. I got to take some profit a little bit more shallow. And we're going to break that 1020 if we continue this trend, and I want to make sure I've locked in profit if it does happen. For now, there hasn't been any trouble with that Torch as long as you're in that sell side trade. Plug, on the other hand, just made the break there of that 3175, 1075. So the first time through, it held it. The second time, Plug making the break. I wanted to buy the dip, but it looks like we're going through the top here in Plug. Brendo?
We saw this one pop up late in the day yesterday. Remember that GoED had a nice move right at the end of the session yesterday. We're just coming up to pre-market highs here, guys, on volume for GoED.
All right, go EV, go AMC to the downside there. And by the way, Torch, guys, I'm not going to apologize for that either. What we're going to do is just continue to catch this kind of stuff. When this falls down, we're going to catch it every single time. And there comes Torch. We've already shorted that 1020. We're now in the money 50 cents, and it's still going to the south side. So, we didn't give up on that Torch. It does break it out. Oh, yeah, and then another one, guys. Look. I told you about Wish. I told you that Wish, I thought we were going to go long. Unfortunately, I got out. We should have reloaded back to the downside there. And there it is. Wish right back to the top. So there we go, man. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 to start the day. It's 9:42, and we are 5 for 5. And no, I'm not going to apologize, for the way our show is. And this is what I'm talking about, Forerunner. You don't need to apologize because noobs don't understand the market. It has nothing to do with noobs. We want noobs to come in here so that we can help everybody make money, understand. We have questions. What is a short? I'm fine answering that. I mean, that's what we want to do. Thank you to our new members, Tyler. Thank you to our new member, Doctor. We already had that. And then there was a few super chats in there that I don't want to forget. Michael Ski, hey, thank you for watching. Don't worry about our hard work. And then Arun, you already know my NVIDIA position, guys. Long at 100 and then long more at 600. And then NVIDIA right now, last I checked, anyways, was 7 and change. Bang, 740 NVIDIA. The cash flying around here, guys.
Yeah, and guys, it's been a fantastic morning. But look, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. We always talked about this. We had an open entry short idea on which that worked. Sean had a long break idea on which that worked. You can make money a million different ways in the market as long as you're in the correct place, which are the stocks that are moving. So that's why we talk about, like, when was the last time we mentioned Plug Power on the show? I actually can't remember it, but we did today because they had those earnings. We gave a dip buy, we gave a breakout. It's now breaking through 32. We're again about 50, 60 cents in the money. I talked about where this might stall out. Halfway would be this 32.50 level. You can kind of see it here on the daily chart, and then 34.50. So you know I'm covering again in front of 32.50, lock in that 70-cent win on the breakout trade, and then continue to look for the next opportunity. Is that dip buy that we get again, or do we take that breakout again? Both will be in play. Brendo, what's
that? Was a really nice report. They basically doubled revenue for Plug. So yeah, nicely positive. Let's talk about Moderna here. Some vaccine news, guys. The EU buying another 150 million vaccines. 2.6% for mRNA.
Yeah, we like mRNA. That was the biggest. That was the one that I liked out of all of them, rather than I'm already in J&J, so I like J&J for a much different reason than obviously I like Moderna. But we were talking about Moderna for a long time at like the 150 level, as this was going to be a buy down here. I talked about it, and you can rewind. If you just go back to any of these days, guys, when I was like, you got to buy some Moderna all the way to the upside there. So a nice little bump one more time for mRNA, the vaccine king, I guess, right now, Moderna. As I know in Canada, we're getting a lot of supply there. Thank you so much again. We already went over this member. So we did not. CJR 808. What up, 808? We're the 416 over here. And then Joe Nod, haters gonna hate, guys. Miss V. Little shout out there for Miss V. Yeah, you know what? That's true. How many channels have Miss V? You know what I'm saying, Brendo?
0 others. That's how many. Remember Figs, guys. Volume a little bit suspect here today, but we did break 44. All-time highs again for Figs.
That stock is hella strong. Those guys making scrubs, if memory is correct, and not the show. Look, not the show scrubs. They make the actual, like...
Not the TLC, no scrubs.
That's even better, TLC. That dates us. The Scrubs is actually a little contemporary, though I've never really watched the show. I was looking at this one in yesterday's action and thinking that there was going to be a playoff of 42, but the volume was so, and it's still so low, that I don't know if it's the best day trade in the world. I would not stand in front of this one at least yet, guys. There's been short opportunities and setups, but none of them have actually followed through outside of going right back into a couple of sessions ago on the first day. So still incredibly bullish on that FUBO. If we see an idea, we'll go over to it. I do want to keep in mind this VTVT. Most of this is exciting, and some of this is relatively simple. You can see it continue to flush to the downside. It gave you that shot at 9.30, not quite to $3, but to 2.80. We're now making fresh lows down at 2.50. I'm short all the way back from 3.14. 50 pennies in the money on a $3 stock. You got to take it. This thing was at $2.36. I'm going to hop on the bid here at 60s, get out of it, and continue to look for the next trade over in Plug Power.
Yeah, I just want to also say that we are now out of Torch, so that's going to be a big banger there for us, guys. Torch just continues to make that move to the downside, and we just covered, like, look at these covers. Bang, 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 bang. Great trade there for me on Torch. Super, super happy with the way that one turned out. I'm not super happy about this one, and that is Fubo TV here, because it tipped up a couple times up here, 33.60, and we just, it's not, I hate saying it because Neil does it all the time and mentions it, is that, like, and they're not excuses, it's just, like, you got to put stop orders up at certain levels or we're going to miss them. Hey, like, Randy, we're looking at so many things there. And by the way, Bang on AMC, we spin the money. We're out now, so everybody can love me again. As we go to the downside there, this AMC trade was absolutely destroyed. 53.50, out 51.50. So hey man, it's a $2 winner. Back-to-back jacks. Let's just keep the momentum going here with Mr. Wickens.
Roku Incorporated, not sure it has the clout it did at one time, guys, but ARK talking about buying Roku before it leaves without you. I feel like it might have done that already. We're at 392, coming up to significant levels here for Roku, guys.
And we'll go with top. That's what we like to talk about. Like, if you're a poker fan, you've never seen William Pursuit. That guy's hilarious. I don't know how good a player he is. But we said 32.50. We quickly showed you the daily chart and said 32.50 possible turn spot on the way to any move that gets you to that cluster at 35 or 34.5. Now we're dipping right back into VWAP here, which means, gotta see if we can get some shares. Okay, so I maybe talked a little bit and should have got these, I'll cross up a couple extra cents there and maybe pay up. So I just paid 71 instead of 66 because I wanted to talk to you guys first. Every now and then it's going to happen, but the whole idea was getting a dip into this cluster and then rinsing and repeating. So it's not 30.60 the price we liked before. Keep in mind, this was doing absolutely nothing, and I was almost not going to say anything about plug. I'm like, okay, I'll slowly talk about it if 30.60 comes into play a little bit later on. No rush. Then the volume spike happened. We're like, no, guys, we like 30.60. It comes back in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. Now the breakout, now the dip back into VWAP. We'll try and rinse and repeat this. Very, very strong move. All this, guys, while the ES, 0.03% down, the NASDAQ, 0.05, the market is not moving. But there is activity everywhere. It's all over our watch list. It's all over all the names that we're looking at here. As long as you are trading and finding the opportunities, they're there every single day in the market. That's why we're here, because we like doing it, obviously, and because we love showing it to you guys.
Yeah, we like making that cash. I mean, I got to pay. I got a lot of bills to pay. So that's why I'm here every day and to give it to you guys as well. So here we go, man. It's been good trading, that's for sure, the last couple of days. And I think it's going to continue today. We can check in on BTC here, or we can do Ethereum bouncing. It's same difference. They're all bouncing. They're basically the same, one and the same right now. Bitcoin down to 29,000. Sorry, this is Bitcoin, my bad. Bitcoin down to 29 right now. Cannot hold 30. And then here's the Ethereum. I was going to say, I thought I lost it. Ethereum chart, very, very similar, down to 17 and change and still moving. So yuck. Cardano's at that 101 spot right now. We'd probably be buying some up. I'm already hella long crypto. You guys know that. So we have to wait to see where that goes from here. AMC, a good out. That's that bottom there. Watch out for 50. We'll reload that if it comes through. And then GameStop, we talked about 210 area. And guess what? That's right where we're at right now, 210. So a little bit of a pushing spot there for crypto, for GameStop. I keep hearing ready for Martha, but I guess that means Brenda. What up, bud?
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is, but let's talk about Tupperware brands, guys. They made an early repayment to a 250 million buyback program, but $23 here. If you go to the daily chart, bottom end of the range here, 23 to 23.50. So coming into significant levels, but a name we haven't talked about in a long time. Tupperware up 13%.
Yeah. That's a tremendous move. Look, it's a name that you've talked about, Brent. I know we haven't always, but we got to get back over at some point. I'm going to check back in on ORF because this is continuing to happen to the stock. The next level when that 6 broke is maybe support at 4, where this all started for ORF. So it's another day, another short, but there were better fish or bigger fish to fry. Plug Power just sort of had this bit of a stall here. Ignore these wicks. It really couldn't get past this 80 range, so I wanted it 60s for like a 25-cent scalp because I paid up a few extra pennies there. We're not going to get exactly that. Looks like it might be doing a more harsh reversal if it pulls back in. I'll cover this thing if it breaks like 31.40, then hunt right back to that 30.60 price, which I like a heck of a lot better.
Okay, so we did get a little bit of wish there, but it's not doing anything. But that's fine. We're still in this name, and we're not scared of this. It's not doing anything at the top here where it took it out. So we do have that call at 14.40, the day's high there, and we just cracked it now. And so we did go long. So let's wait to see where we go with Wish here on the long side of a 1440. I called this long, guys. I mean, I called this long down here at 1350. Wish we still had it all, which we don't. So no need to say I wish I had the long down at the downside. We already hit it there for that 30 cents. So now, I mean, if I take a 30-cent hit on this, it's fine now. But we're still hovering around the top. So let's hold out to see if Wish makes this dream come true to the upside now. Waiting for that one. And then Microsoft, I'll check in on that. It didn't. I mean, it's all-time highs again. We love ourselves some Microsoft, my favorite stock to trade. So no money today from Microsoft, but we do love the name. AMC still bouncing, guys. AMC still bouncing around 51.50. The reason why you watch the show has nothing to do with the three of us. It might have something to do with this. Take it away at the big screen.
Thank you, Sean. So sweet of you. Well, guys, a lot of traders on the chat talk about Clover Health. Stock is up around 16%. Guys, could you talk a little bit on Clover?
Oh, those who caught this one, I'm glad you guys are talking about it, because when you get a bounce in some of the meme names, and like it's heavily shorted as well, but like technically speaking, it's just weird like how these hold up technically, because you're going to get this 1120 bottom yesterday. You're going to get this previous level here back to like an 1185, and you get that cluster breakout. And that the only reason I showed you guys at 1185 is look where it was basically barcoding after a pop, and then flushes back in, holds a higher low, and then breaks right back out at that previous resistance points way back in the daily chart, and now absolutely off to the races. So these are parabolic moves to the upside. I'm not standing in front of it. Torch is at $9 off of that 10 short. Clover is hella strong here to that upside. No reason to stand in front of it. But look at those levels. If you like the bullish trade, that was a heck of a setup, an indication that it could be a good breakout, which it clearly is. So good catch for all of you guys out there. I'm not standing in its way till about like 15. Brendo?
This is 946, I guess. Jan 1 Incorporated, little teeny tiny stock, 23 million on the market cap, guys. 2 million share free float, 35% just halted to the upside, 1040. They were talking about plans for a phase 2B trial for lead product candidate for them. So JAN on the NASDAQ on the move.
Jan, not Jam.
Oh, Jan.
Okay, so Wish right now up to 14 again. We're going to hold out until it breaks this 1386. So we go long first, then long again at the top. But we did get some out as we saw that it didn't break. We did talk about that. So hopefully you guys were able to do a little bit of shopping up there and then get out if it was wrong. So that's a good trade. I mean, it's not a good trade. We're long at the top, but good out. You know, we have half the position left on board to see if we go. And here it comes. It's going to take this out and soon. Almost. Anyways, we're going to be out of that one in a minute, obviously. As you can see, that one's coming to the downside. Ethereum just cracked 17. Bitcoin cracks 29 now. So, yeah, about that. Lots happening right now in crypto land as we continue to go to the downside here. And then I just traded a little bit of Ethereum downside ETHE, but it's not... Liquidity is not fantastic on that one. So we'll have to wait to see where we can get out of it. But for right now, downside, downside, downside keeps going. Wish we're still in that. About to crack through 1390. We'll be out, guys.
And just going to tell you, I didn't get any locates on that jam, but I'm going to hunt for them again. I like those halt trades. If you have a setup that you like, you go to it independently as long as you think there's an opportunity. There's now some, well, I was going to say there's some barcoding and a bit of a bounce here happening off 9 even. So it's psychological. On Torch here, I mean, it bounces off 9 a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. I'm just going to get out of it. If it pops back in, I think there's probably another shot at this short, maybe at VWAP or back again at that 10 level, but it's been a fantastic one, guys. So we'll do the fist bump for this. There's been lots of ways that you can play these, taking advantage of these levels. You could have made money going long off of this when we said, hey, watch it bounce off of this like 940 level, that pre-market low. You could have made money on that long. We waited to go short. I mean, it is what it is. There's plenty of ways to skin a cat here, guys. Not that we're actually skinning any cats, of course, because we would never do that. I want to get back over, if I can, to one name which we've completely ignored. And the only, well, I shouldn't say completely ignored because we've talked about a little bit of Coinbase. Previously, Coinbase had been, I guess, resisting some of these moves to break towards that low at 208. It's been sort of consolidating. Despite how wild Bitcoin has been, there's been smaller moves happening in Coinbase. One of the reasons I got us some Silvergate to go to Coinbase, because I wanted to add more, but B, it was starting to stabilize. This is all going out the window in this flush, and we're about to test that 208 low. So watch out. We're about $3 or $4 away from it. We've waited for this. I actually was hoping we'd hold 217. That hasn't happened. A bounce there would have been fantastic. But now we're looking at that 208 on Coinbase. As this move sort of continues to the downside, you want to take a step back and think where you can play it. Coinbase coming to that low, about $4 away.
Yeah, and I mean, no surprise there. I don't think Coinbase needs to be that low because of crypto going down. I actually think that, like, just like me, I'm looking to go into Coinbase or any exchange now and buy some of these dips, right? So, I mean, if you're executing on an exchange, you would think that that would make a little bit more money for said exchange. But I guess the negativity behind crypto right now, not going to be good for anybody, right? So I don't think that helps Coinbase at all.
Oh, come on, man.
For that extent there. What Neil just
Come on,
missed?
man. I'm like, I'm not on camera. I can go get the Timbits, and these
Yep.
guys are, yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. You got me.
So what happened there? You missed a shot or something? I don't know. What was the joke?
No, they have me on camera. I think I'm like sitting here eating Timbits, and no one can see me. But thank you, Randy. He brings the Timbits when he comes through. We love them. They're tasty. Lucas, so thank you, Lucas. I will not stuff my face because you guys don't want to see that. Now, anyways, but like we said, Coinbase, John, it was a great, fantastic thought you had going on there, and I'm with you. I looked at my Coinbase account. It's like people are going to be trading more actively when these moves happen, and it has been holding up. It's been less volatility over in Coinbase, I think, than some of these other equities. So if there's a safer place to play, I think putting your money in there does make a heck of a lot of sense to me. As far as the day trade goes, I kind of want it to fall further as a day trade before I jump in front of the bus.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So Coinbase trying to go here a little bit, and we'll see where crypto goes. I mean, that to me really is the key behind everything here. As crypto goes, so will Coinbase. So let's just wait to see where it goes from here. We still have what I want to talk about, though, before all the chaos that insisted with the Timbits here, was Fubo TV. As again, guys, back in here for Fubo, back up to that 32.50 level. That's not a horrible spot for us. So this, this could be a profit-taking area for me now on this Fubo TV. We've already made this out once. It's $1 in the money. So again, we don't want to sleep on that. $1's nice, but we are trying to break back above this VWAP right here, and then I still have higher highs. So I don't have any offers out right now, but Fubo made that nice move off joining the Russell. I still think 3% is not enough, but we'll have to wait on that one to see if it does continue its move to the upside there. That's Fubo TV, of course.
And we haven't talked about Lordstown, at least I don't think we talked about Lordstown. It spiked at the open. I mean, a lot of names were moving to that upside here. You get another one through 10. But look at this. It's only like 40 pennies. It stalls out, double top here at 1040. I'm sort of looking at what sets up for that rollover trade that I like. And, Lordstown is basically right here, right now. And we're ready for, it's 10 o'clock, which is crazy. So we are ready for Brendan at the big screen, as I just got the dip on plug in front of 3060. So Long and Plug just got it, and you guys are going to Brendan at the big screen.
What up, Brendan?
At 10 o'clock, let's have a look at how things stand. At this point, we are negative still, being led right now by the Dow. Remember, big move up again yesterday for the Dow. 500 plus points at the end of the day. We're down just 0.3. The S&P just 0.1 to the downside. The NASDAQ basically flat at this point. The composite is red. The 100 back to the upside. Russell struggling today. Small caps down about 0.5%. Let's have a look at a couple of things we were looking at in the pre-market. Yeah, that plug all the way back almost. We got up to about 32.40, but all the way back on huge volume. It's worth mentioning, guys. Relative volume through the roof. Watch this last little pivot there throughout the day on the daily chart. For plug, we'll move over here to one more. MVIS did try, I mentioned this one, did try above that pre-market high all the way to 1820, but another one basically right back to session lows. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, it was a weak one, and I'm glad Brendan brought that one to you guys because there's so much happening, so much moving. We're trying to get to as many symbols as possible. Plug, before we go into Brendan, I said it came right back in that 3160. It did not bounce. If it actually bounced a view up here, I would have taken some out. This is just some dark pool printing. It's going off at like 3120, so it's hitting the book. It's really still clustering down around that 3060 level. It's trying to bounce exactly here. If it goes one more time, I'll try to get into some more shares. I'm not going to let it take out this low at 3040. We already had like a small scalp win and then a loss there, but the real trade was the first time through, guys. So you don't want to throw it all back. Even though I don't want to be done trading the stock, I want these other opportunities. Do not risk everything on your, if you take like a B setup or like that second time or third time through, do not throw away the money that you make on an A or an A plus setup, guys. It's just an important thing, and we like that breakout dip buy style. Of course, it gives you some ample opportunities throughout lunchtime or when it slows down, but you do not want to dig in necessarily as deep. I can tell you that Torch was a good out for now off of that 9 even, but it's trying to bounce back in. I'll take another crack at it at VWAP. It's about 30 or, check that, it's about 40 cents away from that entry point though.
Yeah, guys, we talked about that Torch, man, and we had it on our list, our sticky note there, short through 10, and you're seeing it at 9. Torch was a good trade for us for sure. We obviously dumped it a little too early, but there's a couple of reloads and then Torch down. I mean, Neil just talked about it, so we can move on from that. The reason here, we haven't really traded AMC, should have. I was waiting to see if it did want to test downside there. It appears that it does not want to test downside, so AMC there, nice little bounce off. I guess we can wait to see now a 53 break break makes a lot of sense to me, so I'm going to wait around for that. I'm going to try to be as patient as I can here today with AMC and not trade in the middle, because when we trade in the middle and I put on too many shares, then I get nervous that, you know, something's going to happen and I wind up scalping out and then we lose or we don't hold on for a big enough winner. So I'm going to wait to see if 53 can come through. I don't even mind this 5250 area that we're approaching right now as well. So depending on your opinion here, for AMC, 5250 is not a horrible spot to look at for that name as well. I see ALF is all-time high. CrowdStrike is all-time high. Brendan just dropping the knowledge to us as well. CRWD here, NQ. Yeah, what? 250, wow. Okay, my chart's not loading, but that's a huge price. This name, I believe, IPO'd 60 bucks, something like that. So there it is, yeah, 250. I was only remembering it down here at 180, 190. CrowdStrike, of course, internet security. Yeah, there it is. So, like, how good is that, guys? We just talked about it coming out at 60. I wonder where this IPO price is. I want to find out how good I am. I'm going to see where that IPO'd at. Maybe if you could find that, Brendo. I think it was around 60. And then another one that I'm still long on IPO, and I know this one was 35. Twilio, what a big move that was. This is a 10Xer for me now on IPO up to 380. And again, they use the software so you can get those texts and Ubers and things like that off data feeds. So data airways. So it's a good one there. That's still CrowdStrike. Oh man, my chart's not switching, but there's Twilio now, 380 bucks. So a lot of these newer names now starting to bump up. Twilio's high though, 460, a lot of room to go on this one.
And the bounce and plug works another time here, so we'll do the Wiz.
Oh, yeah.
As Sean's named it, by the way, the Wiz. I always forget exactly where some of these come from. Things are happening fast here, but I'll rinse and repeat another time off that 3060 area. But ALF, you guys know that we look for some of those halt plays. It just halted to the upside. That all-time high that it hit at 1083, it's now in a volatility halt. We got about, it looks like 2.5 minutes or so until we open back up. So the way I tend to look at this, if I don't have a level on the daily chart, which I don't at this particular point, there's 11 even, which would be a round number. If it fails at that price or like this 1080, immediately test these highs and then fails, you'd be looking for a short. And you don't want to chase it. Like I wouldn't chase it to 1050. You got to get something in the 65 to like 80 range off of that high and then get that move to the downside. Now, if it was like 2 or 3 halts to the upside, maybe you're a little bit more aggressive. This is just the first on ALF. So I want to be playing it when it opens back up. Have a couple of minutes till it does so. That's why you want the plan of action going into it. Sometimes playing the liquidity event that is a halt open as a safer way to move into a parabolic mover like ALF has been.
So you would have saw me get in and out of AMC there, but it's just, I don't think it broke. Like my average price was 98, so I don't think it broke 53, or if it did, it wasn't big enough, so I just got in and out there right away for like a loss of 5 or 6 cents there. Out 79, so lost 15 cents there on that. So we're gonna go long again. I just need it to break. And by the way, wank time. Brendan gave us it. It was 63.50. Was the CrowdStrike IPO. So there you go. Sometimes some numbers stick in ye old head here. So pretty proud of myself on that one, remembering that. And again, I'm not in it, but I did like that stock, and that was a good one there. Tesla, let's talk a little bit of cars here because of Mr. Randy. Yeah, Tesla down 621, flat for the day today. I mean, we went down to 615 there on a daily chart. We still have that split adjusted cost there. 620. These are good levels, man, but we need to get above the 635. If Tesla breaks above 643, man, I think it's a hell of a buy. So watch out for Tesla. I mean, I don't know. In the EV space, we had Mark Roberts yesterday talk about Tesla and why he liked it. I like it for the exact same reasons. I'm already hella long GM and Ford, and I say bye-bye to all those other EV names. I do like Tesla. Brendan?
Yeah, a bit of news, guys, on 3D Systems Corporation. Remember, Triple D is the symbol for it. They signed a co-development agreement for a 3D bioprinted soft tissue. So good news for them, clearly, 12%. But we're right back to daily chart highs here for Triple D, guys.
I'm hoping you're a good omen there, Brendan, because we're about to open back up in that ALF in like 30 seconds. But the new position that I got on Lordstown, that could be the first loser of the day, as it's heading towards that 1050 level. I'm short here at 36, I mean 35 and a half. It's going to round up to 36, but I'm not going to let it go past that 1050. ALF about to reopen. Plug heading back toward the high. Still had some of that dip buy that we got at 70s. That's essentially almost exactly what we're looking for here. See, remember what I said? It has to fail at 11? That's exactly what happens here. It jumps up, tries to get to 11, does not get through. And then you're thinking, okay, high of the day is going to be that 11 even area. And then I want to just simply go off of that. It breaks it. You're going to be quickly out. Like, this is to me like that setup. And every single time, we talk about this all the time. If I do this trade, you guys have seen it probably 3 or 4 times here. I am willing that this is going to be that high risk. It's going to be that top wick. I know exactly what the entry was going to be. It opened up. It touched 11 even, then slammed back down. I shorted on the way back down. My stop is immediately thrown in at the high of the day, or the fresh high that it just made. That's at that 11 mark. It stops me out. If it flushes from here, fair enough. But that's the setup. And if that's what works for me historically, that I win like about 70% of the time on, then that's the play I put on. I'm not trying to get cute about it. I'm not trying to hold through. I'm not trying to average into it. If it does do like sideways action here and then a secondary rollover, fair enough. That's a different type of trade there. But on the reopen, that's what I was looking for. Win or lose, did you follow your plan? In this case, I did. If I made the top wick, so be it.
Guys, GameStop, I'm just going to tweet this out because it was an incredible bottom there that was made in GameStop. So we'll just be like, yeah, how incredible was that? If you guys remember what we were talking about on GameStop, what was the level that I went back, and highlighted for you guys over and over and over again? If you say 210, then you are right. There's that 210 hold right there. So we'll tweet that out for you guys just so we can watch it again if it does happen. So there's the 210, guys. Right here and then right here. So 210 hold up to 217. So we're pretty proud of that call, although we're not proud that we don't have it on board. But again, that's where we got to put some stop orders in and take some of that. Okay, AMC, you want to talk about taking something? Let's take off a little bit there. We'll take off 30 cents there on AMC. Just another one. So we'll spin the money. You guys thought that was creepy, my wink one. So what about this one here? Let's see what you guys think about this. Same look. What's now? It's not working? Oh, there it is. Yuck. I don't like this one. This is like when stocks go back.
I hate that one, man.
Okay, so Valeria was just replaced by Randy. You want to talk about a downgrade? Okay, AMC to the downside. Hopefully not. We're still long there. I just kid, Randy. You're a beautiful, handsome man. And now we go to the upside, 53.50. There he is. Yep. Okay, we'll wait on AMC, but that's all. I just want to talk about that GameStop. Good call there. Hopefully some of you guys had that.
Double top and double bottom on Wish now. It just bounced off of 13 even another time. So it's like either direction that you play this, those levels are working out fantastically. But I look to where the pre-market action was and this failure at like 1380 or so, and you kind of feel like this now puts in a bit of a floor. At the open, it was just on the way down here, and I'll zoom in so you can see better on the way down. It did have a nice little cluster in here in the 75-80 range. So if it gets back up there, you got to be thinking about the rollover type of a short trade. Torch has also made some moves in the interim here as it continues to settle right back towards that 10. Remember we said we were getting out at that 9 base? It makes another spike right into that 10 level, and then we're going to play off of it one more time. Now, this is like the third or fourth time that we're looking at this level here, and eventually this is likely to break this 1020. If it does, the last trade will likely be a losing one on that torch, and I don't think Ms. V knew.
Yeah,
I don't think Ms. V knew.
Here we go. Here does the switch. And they said the best, there it is, the best call of the day there was the downgrade there. Yeah, best call of the day, Miss V downgrade. So there you go. Sean is the winner so far. Okay. Yeah, I think we're all winners, guys. Anybody joining the show here is going to be a winner today, that's for sure. It's been such an exciting day, man, for us. Fubo, I'm still holding on, waiting for higher highs here, waiting for AMC to blow, hopefully, as well. We just took that out. So we're 2 for 2 on AMC. Short there, ding, 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 ding to the upside there. That was a stop order, I guess. I don't know what happened there, but that's out of 10%, and then we hit them all out there. And then now AMC, we did take out half there for 30 cents again on AMC. So hopefully we can get a little bit of a ride to the high side. If we do break, I mean, I'm not going to hold this thing again to the downside, but 52.50 if it breaks is going to be my out there. So no moss on 52.50 if we do break back down to the downside. Still waiting for Fubo, and that's about it for me. Torch, Wish. Palantir's is around. Oh yeah, I see Palantir now. I saw someone talk about that earlier. Sorry, I can't get to everything, but I do like the comments that Sean is winning, just maybe not winning with these stocks right now today, as we haven't traded Palantir. Was a big move down. These are the dips that we like in Palantir. So bouncing off 25, hell yeah, I say give me some of that love, Palantir.
And here comes another. We talk about VWAP it comes up a lot. I'm not saying that just because it's the only indicator on my chart. I have volume as well, but here's another bounce off VWAP on plug. It's trying to churn through. Now, this was a fantastic level to use a little bit later on when it gained some significance. It was a good place for a stop out here. It was a good place to take profit out in front because I took some more shallow at 31. I'm not likely to cover this one at VWAP. I want it breaking through, and we can hold above. I think about that 32 exit like we had the last time. I asked if Brendan would be good luck on ride because this is what was happening. And then 1050, which was the out, is 1048. So for now, he has been absolutely good luck. You know, it's still looking like a pretty strong stock here, Lordstown. But this is what the daily looks like. You're clustering off the bottom here. I mean, you do have resistance all throughout. I mean, 5 cents higher at 1060 all the way up here. So if another rollover happens, I wouldn't be too surprised. It's made a failed breakout. Basically every single day there's been at least one failed break on Lordstown. So it's the kind of thing that, to make a bet on it here is going to be worthwhile. If it breaks 1050, I'm out. Otherwise, we got another nice one on here for you guys. And I talked about getting into Torch. We were just able to. It's starting to roll over. This is like now multiple times we're playing through. If it doesn't break VWAP and give these outs here and then another test of that low of the day, at that point, you have to think about reversal to the long side at 1020. It has nothing to do with me thinking it's a fundamental play here. It's just pure momentum. It resists this many moves to the downside and holds the low. You got to look breakout at 1020. I was never doing it before, but I'll now take that long if we do not break VWAP here on Torch.
Okay, guys, 05 or 06 there on Palantir up to 10s. Small win. Just want to tell you that we scalped out a little bit there of our Palantir to the upside. So now we'll wait to see if it can come. That's just a quick 5-cent take because we want to reload it if it comes back to the downside as well. So we're just going to just keep on stacking that cash as it just falls back down. And oh, I have another one that's pretty scary too. I'm only doing this because you guys said it was really creepy. So I think it's the same look. But, no wink involved. I think that was the creepy part. Okay, and then there is Palantir to the downside. So that's a good out, man. Like, we'll celebrate it. I know that a lot of you don't take 5-cent wins. So I'm not going to be like, wow, I hope you guys got that because that's an unrealistic get for many of you. And look, I'm not going to celebrate scalping out 1 or 2 pennies, 5 pennies even. That's not, for me. I know you guys, on all of our trades, unless you're trading Siri or something, you're definitely looking for more than 5 cents. But that just to let you know, if you are with, Day Trade the World or you want to trade with me there, that's a quick out. And some of you have Robinhood and things like that. You can get in and out. You don't pay the fees. So I do suggest trading like that. Fubo not moving. And then AMC, man, we're trying, guys. We haven't done this yet today because I was short and then I got trash talked on the chat, which is fine. It's fine because ultimately what we want is a little bit of cash. So we'll dap up for anyone that was short with me. And then now we'll do the exact same thing with anybody that's long. So hopefully we can have a little bit of cash both sides here on AMC. Now 50 cents in the money on this one. So far so good depending on which way you're here. We're going to go both ways on AMC and take that for the win, guys.
Yeah, we're going every way. Now Clover, none of us have traded Clover, but I know it's a big mover here, so we'll give you the thought very, very quickly. Go back to the 15th. The last time it tested that $15 price, it's several failed breaks at 15 even, and then what happened since then? It's absolutely flush. So if it gets through this, and this is going to be the first test, the current high,
AMC
1450 is right here. This would be your first rollover spot. If it breaks it, watch for that 15. That is a trap at 15, I think. So I'd be looking right here at Clover as your first look for a turn, and 15 is sort of like the backbreaker.
Oh, hell yeah. This is what we're talking about. Can we get the viewers back? Can we get them back? 54, $1 win right now on AMC. So here we go, man. A nice little ride upside. We talked about why we like the 53s long. And then so that's what we took, man. We took it first. It was a mistake because I don't think it broke. And then we took it the second time because it did break. And now we go upside there, 54 and change, 54.50. Oh, ho-hum. Just another $1.50 winner for your boy here on AMC. So hopefully you are enjoying the ride up with us here on AMC. A nice win. Let's see how far we can go now with this one, guys.
Yeah, and let's stick to what's working, guys. You're going to see Sean stick to that AMC. You're going to see me stick back to that plug. It breaks that VWAP. Now we're looking back to that 32 level, so the dip buy is going to work. It is still set up, and if there wasn't a level at 32.50 on the daily, then I probably wouldn't be thinking about a potential break out there at that price, but I'm going to continue to take profits in the sectors that I like here, or the clusters that I like, and we're about 15, 20 cents away from getting it again, another dollar mover here on plug. It's giving you this trade 1, 2 times, maybe 3 or 4 if you're a little bit more aggressive. There was also the breakout at $31.60 higher. There was a small move in here, which was basically a flat trade at that same pullback level. So stick to what works. Plug is working for now, and we're going to Brendan. What's up, bud?
A lot of positivity in some of the travel names yesterday, not so much today. You can have a look at Carnival here, guys, down 2%. We basically started where we ended yesterday. They're talking about some sustainability goals by 2030, talking about being net carbon neutral by that point for CCL, but not a good day so far for some of these.
Okay, here goes Palantir. Now we're finally starting to do it, man. This is just, you know, maybe I got motivated when I saw that Sean is winning comment there. It's always nice to get good feedback on that as Palantir now just go to the upside. So that seems to be a good take for us there. You know, we'll just continue to watch some of these trades. Palantir, I mean, if we get to VWAP, that's probably a decent out for me. So 25.20, we'll put an offer there. I think it might be a little bit light. I am wondering about AMC, though. We just tweeted out that we're long at 53. But, you know, again, part of me tells me that we need to take $1.50 here again on this name because we got lost in a shuffle yesterday. Maybe 55 here coming through. This was the 1 minute. This is back down. We are already up here today, so we can take out 56. So I'm thinking like around 55.50 here. We'll see if we can't get that for another $2.50 win on AMC. So 55.50 is like a target spot for me and around here. 55.70 maybe, I guess, to the high side. Here we go, AMC. Yes, Neil. We're winning today, baby. Let's go.
We'll just keep it going, guys. I'm going to go to Alpha in a quick second because I know what's going up, but I did cover again at Plug. It's the same price area. We're going to rinse and repeat this plan of action. That's why I keep telling you what we're going to do next, where I like it out next, where I think it's going to go, where we can buy that little bit of a dip, and you're going to come right back to that 30.60. If it comes back through VWAP, I'm going to be buying at that same price again. If we break the top, you can think about that long break. 32.50 I think is a little bit better, but Alf, this is why you have a plan of action. Sometimes your best trade is not the one that's a winner. Had the setup in there, we stick to our rules and get out. If I don't stick to my rules, this could be a much bigger loss, of course, but you have that tighter spread that's worth it. Now you get another break to the upside on ALF. If it halts again, believe me, I'll put the same trade on if it sets up. I don't mind. And we'll rinse and repeat the same action over and over and over again like the Energizer Bunny. We have broken through VWAP on Torch, well, at least, okay, we're attempting to do so. I might have jinxed myself here. I was able to get some out in the 60s there for a quick 20-cent scalp, and then I'm going to go for that 30-cent win. Now, we're covering in this range before, right here from 70s all the way down to 50s, and then wait for this level to break, that previous pre-market low, and then you're looking for the bottoms at 9. I see no reason to change that plan, so we'll keep going back to the well as long as it's given the good.
Yeah, you want to talk about going to the well, guys? It's another one. So we'll go chicken dinner winner. It's not Wingstop. It's not KFC. It's not Yum Brands. It's none of that today. It's not Yum C over there in China. It's just Palantir, as we'll just keep on filling up our buckets with a little bit of Palantir trades, a little bit of sticky note talk as well to the upside. There goes Palantir right there. Bang, bang, just like we thought. Not we thought. I mean, if we thought it, we would have held it all. But right back up to VWAP. We like you a lot, man. AMC, $1.80, $2 now in the money on AMC. I hope we didn't wait for too much of a winner on this one. 55.70 is the target, guys, here on AMC. So it's been a good day so far. It's about to get even better at the big screen when Brendan discusses his ALF trade.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. Let's jump right into it. Very busy morning in small cap world. We mentioned this one in the pre-market. If you joined us at 8:30, make sure you do that. Yeah, I took the initial move off of the open. Thought that was pretty good. That was a dollar move there. Got away from it. 920, I should say, to 890 to 920 was kind of the area. If you go back to the pre-market, there was a high at 890, and then 920 was clear support here in the pre-market. So if you got away from it, like I did, you missed that move to the upside, but you're never going to catch that type of a move anyways, unless you're watching it firsthand. But great volume, great opportunity in ALF once again today. VTVT was fader. I stood here right before the open, said I'll give this all the way back to the high, which was 320. Never had the opportunity to even test that. 250, the bottom now. Volume already dying off on VTVT. Another one, BPTH. This was 780 and then 8. Top end of the consolidation here in the pre-market. We got down to 660. So lots of opportunity in small cap world, guys. Back over to you.
Watch out for that one. That's actually coming back up, that DPTH creeping open to VWAP, guys. We just gave our thoughts very, very quickly on Clover. That's why, it comes over. So you guys are asking in the chat. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm looking at that Kin. I'm looking at Torch, of course, and we're trading those ones to the south side. But that 14, bit of an area to take some profit. Now, it has not pulled back that hard. Remember, if it takes this out to the upside, 15 is sort of that, failed break the last time it got here, and it started this multi-day move back in. So there is some room for Clover to still go, even though it rejected that first level that we talked about at that 14 level. I am out of plug because we got to that price level, but no pullback yet in sight. It's like it's 10:20 now. You're getting into that place where it might start to slow down. You don't want to be as aggressive. And the names that were those breakout plays, it's giving you multiple chances at the same type of setup. This is where you don't want to overtrade. I don't want to be getting in here at like 31.50 or 31.40 just because I happen to be up on the stock and then chasing this move. I want to wait for the prices that I like, a bounce off that 30.60, which is what we talked about in the pre-market. And then the same thing goes for Torch. Like, I'm not going to sit here and then start shorting it at like 9.40, 9.50 when everything that has worked has been between that original cluster we talked about, 9.75 into 10. Every short has been within that range. Somebody asked us in our Q&A, and they're like, how do you avoid chasing a stock? And what I said was, if you have a target area for entry and you verbalize it, write it down, I don't care what you do to hold yourself to it or say it out loud so you're accountable to people, that's one way to do about it. So all of a sudden I'm staring in the face 965s on a pullback, and I know it's not in the range. I don't do it. I've already thought about that move, so I'm not reacting when it goes to that price. I'm basically just following the plan of action. If you don't have a plan and you're just like, I want to short in front of 10, it's a little bit more tricky to stay disciplined.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're not learning anything from Neil and I, learn one thing, and that is to have a plan, right? I mean,
and don't eat pineapple on pizza.
And enjoy lots of pineapple on pizza. Good call, Neil. So 33 to the upside, 33.40, 33.50, something like that. I mean, here we go.
Well played.
Here's another one for us, man. We called Fubo TV early, and again, I mean, I'm gonna keep showing Twitter because it's the only way I can get a hold of you guys off show. And I mean, this is where we just talked about it. I actually sent this out, guys. Here's the tweet right here. If you're watching, please follow. I'm gonna put this in the thing here. Look, Twitter's not a paid thing, so if you follow, you follow. Great. If you don't, you don't. But here it is, guys. At 9:01, Fubo joins the Russell. We went long at 32, and then now it's at 33 and change. So there it is, man. I mean, I'm not predicting the future. We're just kind of relaying some of the news and notes across back to you. Here goes AMC. I mean, to sleep on this anymore, I think it's silly. AMC up to $55 now, bouncing around a little bit. We already have this $1.70 in the money now, and yeah, we're winning today. Why? Because $1.70 in the money right here, $1.50 in the money right here. We just crushed this Palantir, in there, out here. Good trade for me on PLTR. And then right now we're trying to see if Ethereum wants to go upside as well. It looks like there's some action off a bounce of 17. We're back to 1750. So it's not a huge bounce by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe Ethereum can get back to 1800 today. We'll see if that does happen. Thanks to Jeff Mendel for swinging by and talking about those grayscale products over there on his side.
And Mr. Mendel, that's right. You fantastic job coming through. I love it. I have to answer this question. Anytime someone asks about the positions that I have on, I do have Foe and I do have Cloudera. Our system, we're not even wasting time coding, showing you things that aren't really moving. So it'll show everything that I'm in. So every now and then I will let you guys know that this stock literally does not move. This is still Clover, but you can see the chart here. Who cares? It doesn't move. I'm basically spread trading it. Getting in at 58 and just taking midpoints and taking taking the full penny out there. It is spread trading on a leveraged buyout. CLDR is exactly the same kind of concept. It barely moves. I can sit there essentially market making, spread trading, whatever you would like to call it, taking advantage of small movement when you have direct market access. Now, for most retail traders, it is basically impossible to make money doing that because you need ridiculously low fees. You need to have a lot of leverage to have larger share size and then make money only taking that spread. So that's a little bit of that idea. It's not something for everybody. I thought, look, and I'm going to go here and say, I thought Torchlight was going to get through this 930 back towards that low. It looks like it's checking up a little bit here. So if it checks up high of that low of the day, puts in a lower high like this, I'm likely to not average into this. I mean, it's so many times it's come to this 10 level. I'm probably not going to get back in the last time. If it goes up here again, I'll just sit with what I have and then do the reversal into a long at 1020. So I'll stick with that plan of action to reverse long 1020, but there will not be another short for me at 10 even at this particular point. If it breaks and makes another lower low and then wants to pop back up here, and then we can start thinking about shorting another pop, I want to see a lower low. Now, I want to see a higher low and then average into it, guys. You want to say the trend is your friend. It's a real thing in trading, and it's especially true at 10:30 when things start to slow down a little bit.
I was going to say, so we did go long again on AMC here as it breaks above that level. So now we're going to have to wait to see, what we're doing here with AMC as we go long. Again, we did cash out. We didn't cash out because, it's just where we're at right now with the stock. But AMC does make a move to the high side. So now it shows us long 55.13. I mean, that's going to be out of the money. But we did take a nice little long to the upside there, breaking through 55. So I didn't even know that we had that order in, to be honest with you. So I was targeting 55.70 as our out. So let's see. It's going to bounce now a little bit away from 55. So like I said, man, we're not going to give this money back on this trade, but it is making that move right now back to the downside. So we'll see if you can maybe reload a little bit here at 54.10 and then use this 53.50 as an out, because we do not want to get caught in this play one more time like we did yesterday, averaging in all the way down, guys. So a little play at 54 we'll see, and then we'll see about 53.50. That'll be the kill spot if we're wrong on AMC.
Yeah, this clover is still looking pretty strong here, guys. I mean, it's not even getting back into view up yet. I mean, I might have just given it a bit of a jinx here because I was watching the bid bounce off of this 1330, trying to hold up and continue to put in these higher lows that you've been seeing on the chart the entire way upside here. That's going to be that key. Like, if it breaks this, does it hold the next level down? If it does, I think you got a scalp trade off of 1275. But obviously, I still like that 14 to 15 look on the name. Just to come back over to, and this is, I mean, it's been a bit of a sleepy day. Well, I haven't traded FIGs. It's been a bit of a sleepy day on it since it got mentioned. There we go, FIGs. Parabolic move again, and this has been a couple of days in a row. Since that time we brought the mention in here, there was an iceberg in front of that 46 level that just sort of flushed this one back down. This cluster here, I think, is going to make for an awesome opportunity a little bit later on in the session, but the volume is dying down. So I think this is going to be one of those where we're going to come back for, whoops. Oh, we have a guest. Oh, my goodness. That's great. We have the guest in today. That's why coming up 3. So, yeah, by the way, we have a fantastic guest. I just spoiled it. Battery technology. That's great enough. That's great. But I can take that one off. And then remember, we're coming back at 3:15. And why did that pop off? Thank you very much. We'll come back at 3:15. I'm almost certain I will either have already traded FIGs off of this potential breakout, or we'll be looking to get into it. It's been a great trade the last couple of sessions. You just have to find those levels and then make those moves, because I'm telling you, this stock just seems to want to find those crazy clusters and then these big breakouts. And this is what happened in yesterday's action. I only wanted it downside, but it was just as good when it broke up here. And it did the same thing at 1:30 off of barcoding action. So when it did it yesterday, it was great twice. It's setting up for the same thing again here in FIGs if it wants to make this hold around this 46 area. So often history repeats itself. Put yourself in a position to profit from it. Brennan?
Just had an alert on this one. First off, guys, Desktop Metal, DM, just popped up. You can see monster volume spike there, 5+% for this one through 13. Heads up on Desktop Metal. I, on the other hand, will happily tell you about, let's try that one more time. There we go. Bryson Goodwin, President and CEO of EV Battery Technologies. Really, really cool company with interesting products, talking about charging stations for electric vehicles, also energy storage systems for entire buildings. So really, really cool concept and interesting company coming up in about 15 minutes, guys. So stick around for that. In the meantime, let's get a check on how things are shaping up over in Europe. There's 1 hour left in the Miss V. What is happening?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are mostly negative. Only Britain and Turkey remain positive. In terms of individual names, Property Group British Land is up more than 5% after JP Morgan upgraded the stock to overweight. Back to you.
Yeah, it feels like a very busy day across all of the markets, guys, but we're still only just up 0.1 on the S&P.
Oh, but there's plenty that is up today. It's all about what is moving. We talk about this over and over again. Play what is moving. Here comes plug. You want it to make that breakout style play. Yeah, there's a failed break for you right there at 32.50. Couldn't hold a bit above that price. It slams right back in. Now this does give you a good look for a double top setup for another potential break, but I didn't see that bid open up there a little bit. The spread, which, of course, the second I go to it, the spread, there it is, back to like 3 cents there. So that's essentially what happened when it broke that 32.50. You get the spread opening up and the bid not following. Whether or not you have the opportunity that you can use stop orders that peg to the bid or the offer, so that even if 3050 prints, you actually need a bid above a certain price before you'd get in. I think that's a pretty cool tool if you have access to it. So then you don't get out on you don't get in on a failed breakout like this. You might have a chance, you get a worse price, don't get me wrong, but you have a chance to miss out on that move and then not get that pullback. Now, if it fail breaks here, I still like the chance we can retrace the entire range. And if we do, we're gonna come right back into that 3060. I'm gonna stick to what's working, and Plug has been a fantastic one so far. No reason to get away from it. I said Torch was resisting that temptation. It's still clustering down here. At this particular point, I'm sort of saying to myself, let's just get, I'm likely to just get out here if 950 breaks. We'll take the profit and run on the 86 short, and then otherwise my bid is down here in front of 9 even, and I will not be going a fourth time, technically speaking. Well, really, it's like a fifth short. There's like, this is a pre-market one here, and then you had another one on the way downside here, and then there. I consider it 4 because I never really covered any of this. So it'll be the fourth time, and I will not be taking it. 3 is good enough for me off that 10 level.
Yeah, we're sort of the same way here with some of these trades here, especially with Fubo, as we get up to that level again. So I think we got to put an order here, guys, as we are going to go. I mean, we're not going yet, but if we do go, well, when we go to our guest, we may get filled. So I'm going to put an order here, 33. I mean, this top is pretty good, 33.30, maybe even a little bit lower than that, just to make sure that we do capture some profit here on Fubo. Again, we've already captured it right here, 32.80 there for a nice little win. This was that adding to the S&P, so big time move to the upside right now for Fubo today. We are getting near a breaking point for sure with our AMC as it's come back down. We did take that average in. It does go back into the money a little bit there on the average, but since then, no. So AMC, I mean, look, this is how you got to trade this thing. You got to play it when the momentum starts to come in, right? That's why we like that 53 area. You see a little bit. I mean, the volume is not going to tell you much down here. It's pretty consistent. Right now, it's a little lower as we start to fall down. But, when you start to ramp up, that's really when you got to get all the juices flowing for AMC. Not really right now, guys. So let's wait to see if it can come back up. Our average price, 54.70, and you know where our stopping point is, and that's the most important, guys.
And one of the things that actually, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago was, certainly we did talk about it a couple of weeks ago for things like your Ford and GM, when are they going to start moving again? When can you catch a bit of that bid? When the rollover starts happening in some of the other EV names there, and you're seeing NIO, and the only reason why I'm not looking at NIO today is kind of a horrible one. My quote board, for whatever reason, and I was cleaning it up. I clean it up every single week with just the symbols I want on there, and I think I accidentally took NIO off my quote board, so I haven't even looked at it. And that's kind of ridiculous. Look at the setup on NIO here today. Failed breakout through the pre-market high, and then you could, even if you don't get like this short here off the high of the day, look at it consolidate right at that breakout cluster. That's a great sort of short setup there for momentum play. I didn't see it until you guys pointed NIO. You're like, NIO was tanking. So thank you. You guys are the best community in the world. So NIO was back on my quote board. It should never have left in the first place. It is one of the best day trading stocks. At least it has been for a year and a half.
Yep, agreed with that one. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, I don't have too much to say right now. We're holding on to our AMC spot there. We've looked at, oh man, wow, Carnival on the tank. We had a Carnival bid the last couple times here, and we were looking for shorts the last couple of days. We weren't able to do anything. This was the level of 27.90, I think it was yesterday, that breaking spot. So there it happens just right now. But again, a little bit late on the break. So if you're here now, you're probably paying a little bit too low. Carnival was already moved $1 today, down 3%. Was not expecting this kind of a move here in the space today, but Carnival down 3% and making more lows right now. So don't know if there was news about that. We do know that there's some port issues there with Royal Caribbean as well. So that move going, I'm trying to find, my eyes going everywhere here just to look. Oil up 0.39, so not doing much. AMD as well, that's another name that we like. We're watching that 82 level for something maybe on AMD, so there is a possibility there that this wants to go. A lot of barcoding today on the 1 minute, so not much there, but there's the bottom, 82.20. So again, if we can get there, it was the bottom yesterday, it was the bottom in the pre-market today before shooting up. So this is a good level down here, 82.25 or so. Needs to come down a buck. We're not there yet, but that's not a horrible spot to get long on AMD, which I like the space, I like the name, and I think for a slow tech, this one has to have some pickup in it. NVIDIA's at all-time highs. 100 is this all-time high, so some more room to run here for NVIDIA, guys.
I tend to agree with that one. I don't know how it didn't get hit. You're right on it. Both of them have room to run because NVIDIA never stops. How did we not hit, if we hit this one already, I apologize, but how did we not hit that? The music is fantastic. It's always good on a good day to enjoy. Well, whatever, I won't even get into that. But anyways, I love that music. I did get out a torch here. It finally broke this, I don't know, barcoding action that it had 925 to 950. I said it would cover if it broke 950. But it ticks down after breaking 25s and then immediately found a bid at 20 and snapped back up. I was like, ooh, it's going to go right back in there. I'll just take the profit. So that's one of the things I'll look for. I mean, we're talking about the bottom end of this range, another 25-cent cluster down to 9 even. So I might as well take it out here. Now we can sort of sit back, relax, assess where the next trade is going to be on Wish. I'm falling away from jumping into that short off 10 again. If it breaks VWAP, I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. But I'm going to go with that 10-20 break. These are not fake prints up here. It got exactly to that 10-20 level, and it's not rocket science. Everyone's looking at the same chart, so I just simply looked at the top that it made off that open at 930 and said, okay, that's where my line in the sand is. If we wicked out by a penny or two, fair enough. There are some stocks, if it was like a $100 stock, maybe you give it a few extra cents, but on a $9 stock, you can kind of get away with it putting it the exact penny. And now that I've said that, maybe you should give it another cent or so if you can. I do want to come back to ALF. Just because we're going to continue to monitor this. It's still looking strong. I was just about to look at that same breakdown trade. I love these halt levels until there's a new one. I just held 1083 down to this low here at 1050, right? That's where I got the short, got stopped out. Thank goodness we didn't hold. Same level down here, it holds 1072, does not break that bottom range. If it were to break this, I think that would be where you'd look for a short, or if you're still long and trying to hold on to the Dickens, maybe you got like a 780 from yesterday's close or whatever you got, I would look back to that price range here and then say if it breaks, maybe take some profit there. A lot of times, if you make that a level like that, you're going right back into this 9 to 950 cluster. So why look a gift horse in the mouth when you can take profits? If it breaks up again, I think there's another short on a halt. I'm not saying I hope it halts again, but if it does, I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so AMC, I don't know if we just got lucky here with a spot. Neo's loving Timbits, guys.
He's like, yeah, you're going to catch me doing it. Now, of course, you're going to catch me doing it. But yeah.
Okay, there it is, AMC. Looks like it wanted to, not looks like, it does bounce a little bit off there, 53.50. So maybe that is a spot for us to look at here. Again, I mean, that is going to be our out at some point here around this 53. Be our out at some point here around this 53.50 area. But we did bounce off of it and now come back to the upside. So I don't know if we get, I mean, here it comes back to the downside again. So here we go. We're going to break one more time. Then we're going to get out off this break low, 53.39, 38 or so like that. So we're going to wait to see if that comes through. It looks like it's going to, and then we'll be stopped out of our AMC and give back a little bit of what we made there today, as it looks like, oh, it's so close to tipping me out. But that's that trade. Fubo's $1 in the money right now as well. We are having some upside targets of 33.25 or so there for Fubo. So that's going to be that call. AMC and Fubo, the only ones that we have on board right now, and we're always watching Ethereum. So we are ready, I guess, right now. No, at the big screen right now with Brendan, guys.
All right, guys, let's have a look at the overall market here, see what is happening so far today. And yeah, as we've been saying, not a heck of a lot for the overall market, but as you can see, a pretty mixed story. There are some individual names that are standing out here. The guy's just talking about NVIDIA there, 1.6%. ENPH, though, the leader in the semiconductor group today, up 2.6%. But these, for the most part, in positive territory. The tech sector, however, as a whole, kind of flat, a little bit negative even because of hardware and software names pretty much negative. Oracle looks like it's having a big day, but it's only 0.8% to the upside, 1.5 there for now. So you can see hardware and software kind of offsetting gains coming from the semiconductor group. Let's talk about consumer discretionary stocks. Here are all of the cruise lines: RCL, CCL, NCLH, 2.4 to 3.03% now for Royal Caribbean, as we mentioned, all in negative territory, under pressure, along with some of the hotels here. LVS, Wynn, to name a few here, is Marriott as well, Expedia, Hilton, even Penn National, all in negative territory. So this group kind of offsetting this group and then some. So consumer discretionary in negative territory. Industrials, though, are leading to the downside so far today, led by the airlines. Here's all the airlines: DAL, UAL, AAL, and Love. 1.5% to 3% to the downside. So it is a negative look for some of those so far today. Capital goods, GE, worth pointing out, Boeing there too, 1.5% in negative territory. Far side of the screen here, real estate stocks, communication services, and energy. Remember, energy was leading big time over the past couple of days. We are red on energy stocks. Material stocks, though, worth noting, in positive territory. Only 0.13. We're positive, guys, on the overall market. Back to you.
So I want to answer, is his name Mellitus Binarius? Okay. I always check the news on any of those penny stocks we trade in. Look, if it's $1.50, it's a penny stock in my books. I know people take that a little bit too literally, but you should always know what the news is. I mean, just the other day we were talking about, I forget the name of the symbol, and there was a bot deal involving a company that had a bit of a shady history with some of these bot deals. I don't want to get into it too much and knock a company down like that, but you always have to do that, and you always have to look at a higher time frame. There was another question. Someone asked about space because it's moving up 5% today, and the last time we checked in on this one, we said there was a key level sort of brewing. We failed here at 38.75. Let's go right back. I should pull this back a little further, guys, and we should go right back in here. Look at this previous high at about 39.50. So this range into 40 is a big level for Virgin Galactic. If you believe that thesis that we're not continuing this breakout, I mean, look, the NASDAQ is right at that same level. It can't seem to crack. You just had the crypto crack to the downside. Any kind of a significant pullback. Trust me when I tell you, the first thing that we'd probably hit if the NASDAQ fell, if the market started to come back in, stock like Virgin Galactic, especially with the test coming up, and that's going to be a big deal as well. You have to watch out for this kind of a pullback. Even a muted one, even a small failure at this price level is taking you back 20%. Minimum, I would say. So watch out. And I say all of this still holding on to Virgin Galactic, which, you know, never turn swing trades into long-term investments. That's kind of an idiotic thing to do. But I kind of did it anyways when it was deep in the money in Virgin Galactic. And you guys know that I held that 27.50 all the way down to 14. It's kind of dumb, but everyone's done it at least a couple of times in the past. If you got that on, don't do it. I mean, if you've gotten a nice little move here, this is a great place to take some profit, especially given the current market conditions. So Virgin Galactic, great, to the moon for them. But if the market reverses, this will reverse harder, obviously, than the overall market.
Yeah, Virgin Galactic, a big one, big mover there. What's not really moving though for me is this AMC. Like what? It's going with sleepy time now. All of a sudden, AMC. What's up with that? It's just not moving right now. So 53.80. We did get a bounce off that 53.40. We're still waiting for a little higher. I mean, I will get some out in the 20s and 30s, even though we're stuck at 70. Just a piece some out. So that is on my watch right now. AMC as wow. Yeah, nasty move. I didn't even realize. It just sucks because I didn't realize I even had a 55 break there. I'm not even sure why I would have that. So yeah, keystroke error there, not just checking out your stop losses. If that's going to be something there to take again from the show, do that, because you have to make sure that you don't have any pending orders on symbols that you don't want. So unfortunately, I'm a victim of that today with this AMC long up to the upside. I still like the trade, but we are getting ready to bust out. There it is. There it is. So we do get out there. So we will flush ourselves down the toilet. That was an accident. We'll get longer again down here. We would never take that 55. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is why we take 53, because there was a top there. When we break it, it goes to the upside and we win big, $2. There was really no reason there to take that 55. If anything, 56 is a better break than 55. I can explain that later. But right now, it's Brendan with a big guest of the day.
Hey guys, thanks so much. Yeah, it's a hot topic right now, and we're going to discuss battery technology again today. Talk a little bit about charging stations and battery storage solutions. And I'm speaking of EV Battery Technologies, and Bryson Goodwin, President and CEO of EV Battery Technologies, joining us for the first time on the show. It's good to speak to you, Bryson. Welcome to the show, and thanks for doing this today. It's a great time to be in this space, and it's an exciting space in general. So let's jump right into it and give us an introduction on EV Battery Technologies.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for having me. EV Battery Technologies was developed on the idea that everybody's going to produce vehicles and there needs to be an infrastructure development play, specifically revolving around ESS solutions, which is energy storage solutions, and the ability to deliver smart, homogenized power to a grid.
So when we talk about the need for these storage system solutions and how this is growing and is going to continue to grow. Where do you see this product best fitting in, going forward down the line? Is it on the residential side? Is it on a commercial side? Is it both even?
Well, it's both actually. We have a number of products that are out there. The Ionix Titan series is a grid level or a city level battery storage solution based on lithium ion. It's a container size. We also have this smart station for home. It's the Ionix Pro Smart Wall, which is specifically designed for home storage solutions, and it allows homeowners to lower their overall cost of product through choosing when to charge and what access to power they want, be it solar, wind, run of a river, or just charging at night when power is cheaper and discharging during the day when power is at a peak. It's referred to as peak shaving, and it gives homeowners an opportunity to partake in that.
So the company Patent Battery Management System. Tell us a little bit about where this patent comes into place and how the product will be useful going forward.
Well, the patent system we use it's an AI integrated battery management system, and it's vitally important as we move forward with this transition to green power. And what it does is it allows for smart grid integration. It allows for infrastructure improvements and two-way communication with the grid, with the house, and with the products that are charging and discharging through the system. Most companies don't put a lot of thought into their BMS system. They just use it to control the power distribution within the battery system, temperature and whatnot. But this AI integrated system is light years ahead of everybody else in the fact that it allows for an integration on what's coming down the pipe. We've done extensive research on where things are going and how they're going to get there, and everybody hears about smart grid integration, and everybody hears that everybody's going green, but it's not really talked about on the infrastructure side. And the infrastructure side is the vital component. That's the biggest component that's part of any ESS or EV application. A smart charging station, home use, city use. The infrastructure is not currently in place, and we have the products that you absolutely require in order to put that infrastructure into place.
And we'll see a growing need, which is the key here. We had a deal in British Columbia announced at the beginning of June when it comes to the EV charging station specifically. If anyone missed out on that, give us just a quick overview of how that played out with a property management company that you're going to be installing these in.
Yes, so the EV charging station that we're offering is combined with an ESS application. This allows for developers to use the opportunity for peak shaving, but more importantly, it allows them to install that product without an upgraded line from the grid. Because they're sourcing power from technically two sources, one being the grid and the other being the ESS application. The line that goes to the product, it doesn't need to be upgraded, which is a significant expense and a big savings. So developers can drop these products in as is, and they get the benefit of integration. They get the benefit of the infrastructure and the BMS, which is AI, and they get the benefit of supplying a need, which is currently desperately. The more people that buy EVs, the more charging stations they need. So we've recently announced a number of deals, and we're currently in discussions on a number more where we're working directly with large developers for malls, residential neighborhoods, commercial buildings. We're even in discussions with a bowling alley where it's the problem and the impediment to them getting into this market and supplying this need really came down to the cost of getting the grid to the charging poles. With our ESS application attached, they don't have that cost anymore. They're able to install this in a manner that works for them and not have to worry about upgrading all their lines and their transformers and their boxes. So yeah, we've been actively working on that front, and news is starting to come out. But keep in mind, we've been working in the background on this for a year, with discussions, and it's just to the point now where we're able to disclose that we've signed and inked a number of these deals.
Bryson Goodwin, President and CEO of EV Battery Technologies, joining us. Let's talk a little bit about, I mentioned when I was kind of teasing this a little bit earlier, Bryson, there's a very interesting side to this business, and that is in the form of blockchain. So let's talk a little bit about how the company uses and utilizes blockchain with its technology.
Yeah, it's funny. We're actually a blockchain company that developed a product and went into the ESS application market. So EV Battery Technologies is our technical people are blockchain specific. And when you look at where the world is going and you look at what the grid wants to do, currently when you're in your house, you have one-way communication. The power comes to your house, you draw down your power and you get a bill once a month. But what the infrastructure that's out there wants and where it's going is two-way communication between you, the grid, multiple times per day. If you have an ESS or an EV in your house, the grid wants to be able to access that power for preventing brownouts and blackouts and whatnot. Specifically, California is mandating that. That's demonstrated by Ford just released their Lightning, and part of their claim is that you can use it as a battery in your house. And that's exactly what smart grid integration needs. But you can't have smart grid integration, you can't have infrastructure improvements without an AI integrated battery management system, which is what we supply. The blockchain is the only capable product of managing that kind of transactional nature. When you think about power consumption and you think about power coming in and out of your house multiple times per day, that's a transaction. And depending on the time of day, that will reflect in the price of that power that you pay, and it'll also reflect in the price the power is paid to you. So if you have an ESS solution in your house and you fill up that battery solution in the middle of the night when power is the cheapest, and then the grid pulls that power out in the middle of the day when power is the most expensive, then the grid has to pay you the difference. So, there will be a transaction there, and that needs to be controlled. And the only thing that's capable of controlling that transaction is blockchain. So we've been developing this for years, and it's to the point now where we're ready to start disclosing what we have developed and where it is. And I liken it to the box. The Apple came up with a little scanner, and it's a vital, absolute component that you need, and nobody else has it right now. So, we've integrated it into all our products.
Let's talk about timeline here, Bryson. The company has obviously, a wide range of products, a wide range of applications for those products. From an investor standpoint, talk us through timeline as you see these being launched and getting out into the marketplace.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the company was working on products 2 years before we went public with what we had. So there was a flurry of news that came out in the first while talking about these products, and we've so far we've announced we have a number of products we haven't announced yet that are in development or near to development, but we have announced the Ionux Smart Wall, which is your home ESS solution. It's easy to install. It installs in your house. It's got multiple ports of entry for power, or you can just use it for peak shaving. So you can upload from the grid, fill it up in the middle of the night, and use it throughout the day. We also announced the RV Freedom, clearly our smart charging stations, and we have the Titan Energy Core, which is an industrial scale ESS application. As far as deliveries go, the RV Freedom, we've already produced a number of these, and they've already been shipped. They didn't come in for usage. They came in for stress testing, which is basically where the US and Canadian government destroy them in a manner where they can apply a rating to it and a safety rating. So those, that's already in production. We had to do a full production run of that unit in order to get it tested for full delivery, and we expect to be shipping those as soon as we've got the go-ahead and the rating. The Ionux Smart Wall, the first shipment, we expect it by the end of July. And initially those, we've allocated all of those initial production for distribution to our network of distributors. So there will be retail locations. People can go in, they can touch it, feel it, and admire it. There are a few that we will be delivering to our early purchasers, but the rest of our pre-sales will have to wait for the second shipment. The smart charging stations with ESS attached, well, we've been releasing news on that. So we've inked a number of deals on that front, and we're in more. The Titan Energy Core, we're in active discussion. Right now it's a large scale grid level integration product, so it requires engineering and detailed discussions. You're talking about megawatts. Our system can stack 50 in a chain. Our nearest competitors can only do 10, but that's because they're not using as strong a BMS as we are. So our AI integrated BMS does a number of things that nobody else does, and remote monitoring is the number one. Remote maintenance, remote balancing, and if there's an issue, it can actually reroute. So it's been very busy on that front with discussions.
A company listed as ACDC on the Canadian Securities Exchange. Everyone loving your ticker. Bryson Goodwin, President and CEO of EV Battery Technologies. A pleasure. I mean, as I said, it's a great time to be in this space, and the technology continues to improve almost on a daily and weekly basis. So we look forward to an update in the future, Bryson.
Thank you very much.
There we go, guys. A look at maybe what is to come in the future, guys, for battery technology for your house. Back over to you.
As always, a fantastic interview, and I'm thunderstruck by that one there. Someone had to say it. I know, Brendan, you're not going to, but yeah, what a great ticker. That's pretty cool. I always find it's like you can put any 3 letters out there, or 2, or I guess 4 or 5. Why not have a little bit of fun with it? It makes a heck of a lot of sense here. Of course, given the space that they're in. So for the nerds, we're going to be enjoying it. Look, there's some things that are moving around in the market, so I just want to come back over to one, that ALF. Because we only have a couple of minutes to go here before we get out of here on the morning show, because we'll be right back at the close. But ALPH, little Alfie there, move into the high, just failed at $12, but still churning through volume. It's up to like 75 million shares worth of volume, and still moving towards those highs. So this has been a big time runner and a big time mover. And when we come back at 3:15, this is going to be an active one. This is weird because we're going to do our national day here. And for once, this is going to be something that I actually am not a huge fan of, believe it or not. You would think, but Miss V, give it to them here. My brother loves these.
Oh no. Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day so far. You're in a positive territory and make a good profit. Well guys, come back in the afternoon to trade the close together, and happy National Tasty Meal Eclair Day, everyone. I love eclairs.
So chocolate eclairs, I'm sure they're delicious, but I'm just not a huge fan. There's like way too much like of the creamy middle there. My brother used to always eat them, and for me, if I get a pastry, it's an apple fritter or it's a Timbit. That's the way I'm gonna go. But Sean, your thoughts there? I know you're trading away, my friend.
Yeah, I'm trading like a madman. I like eclairs. Yeah, I'm a big fan of eclairs. I have this sick Italian bakery. Shout out to Messina Bakery near my house, and it is an absolute fantastic. They making everything, guys. But yeah, eclairs, I'm a big fan.
Oh my goodness, I'm hungry. Brendo, my friend, what do you got?
Not a huge fan either. Neil, I'll be on your side of the fence, I think, on this one.
That's what I'm talking about. Every now and then, man. Every now and then. Look, eclairs are fine. Always, you know what an interesting thing? It's like, forget about whether I like pineapple on pizza. I think it's horrible, and you guys think it's okay. You're all wrong. But always do you. At the end of the day, don't live someone else's life, man. If you enjoy what you enjoy, then who cares? So eat all the eclairs in the world. I'm gonna eat a couple more Timbits. Thank you, Randy. I've already probably had too many of them.
There's Lucas. They gotta thank Lucas.
Oh, sorry. I keep. My bad, Lucas. I apologize. I know it was you, Randy, last time. It was you this time. So thanks again, Lucas. It's been an absolute blast. Do not go too far away. Remember, we are right back here at 3:15. It's that fastest 45 minutes. It's going to be an active close. I know the market's relatively flat, but look at what's moving today. Look at all the stocks that we've been all over that have had fantastic action. You know it's going to be just as good at the close. So do not miss out on it. Come right back at 3:15 for this entire fantastic team that we have going down the line. Valeria in the green, the new green again, and some good luck. And Brendan Wickens, again, fantastic interview there. I'm Neil Robertson. Sean Katina, you can't stop from trading. He's still hitting keys there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trade TV Live, and we'll see you at the close.